Okay, so Blue Oolong session 5 of 8, which will probably become like once we hit 8, I'll probably just keep increasing them because we don't know when we're gonna stop. So maybe never. 2 years from now, we'll be laughing at this. Maybe. But we left off with everybody back at their place, and we have some crew stuff to do. We have an entanglement after all that, and then we have downtime actions. But also, there's a change up in the crews, I believe, right? Yeah. Yeah. Lauren, you're changing, right?
Yeah, if that's cool.
Yeah. Oh, you need a character.
Oh, I just started hacking apart my old one. I'm sorry. Should I
Oh
do a
no,
new one?
that's okay. Yeah. Well, I guess your old character is not just away. Thank God, we're good.
They've moved on.
Yeah.
Maybe they
Okay,
didn't
go.
make it back through that storm after all.
Even though they were the one that was leading you. That's funny. They like
like, wait,
led you to the door and then just disappeared into the night.
Yeah.
Wait, I just got to go back and get something. Never seen again.
Nice. Yeah, just the classic. I just had to go to the convenience store. She just went to go pick up some milk.
Shouldn't take
Well,
10 million years.
what is it? Do you like? Do you want to do like a little scene as to what happened to them, or just leave it be like mysterious? Or
Yeah, I kind of just figured they'd take off into the storm and never be heard from again. We'll probably see them. I don't know. Maybe they'll return after visiting some other forged communities. We'll see.
okay, cool. That is a big mug you have there.
I need it.
Yeah, for you guys, it's pretty early, huh?
Yeah, we just went back. Like the clock just went back as well. So it's actually 4 o'clock in the morning, even though the clock says 5 o'clock in the morning. My body says that it's 4 o'clock.
Rough. Well, I don't know. We might be able to schedule it for later, but it's already solidified on the schedules.
Yeah, well, I think for Lauren, you have to like go to work afterwards anyway, right? So you can't really play that much later.
Right.
That's okay. It's heaps fun. I mean, it's every nerd's dream to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and play games, right? I'm living the dream.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that because it's Monday for Lauren in Australia time. So moving it later would be bad for you anyway, right? So
wait, I can play anytime from like 5 a.m. till 9 a.m. because my work is kind of flexible, but when we rock in, / I don't give a shit anymore. So
nice. Okay.
Be recorded.
Well, nice. Yeah, we'll just show that to your boss later.
Yeah.
We'll figure this out after though. Yeah. I'm sure people watching are like, great, glad you hit record for this. Okay, so Lou, you're playing Fleur as well, so there's 2 change-ups, right? And do you guys both know what playbooks you want?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is, out of curiosity, what is Fleur's? Because we don't know that yet.
I'm just doing the is it the lens?
The lens?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're the tracker.
Yeah, and I have a drone, right?
If you want it, if you took it.
I think I will.
Yeah, Storm Hunter. I'll probably change the name of that. A lot of the names right now are just like the name of what this does or whatever, or something really generic but sounds cool. But so yeah, a lot of the names had to be refined before the quick cert goes out. Especially, I remember last session when I was about to send it to you guys, I was trying to think of the name of it, and it was just like simple, shit. I was like, okay, yeah, that one maybe needs some changing, needs some working on. Okay, cool. So you're the lens, and Lauren, you are gonna be playing Vidi?
Yeah, I reckon that'll be cool.
Yeah, I like that, especially after the like realization that we had as a audience, but not players or characters, I guess, about Vidi's nature, about like them being secretly the mastermind of the crew, which means probably you should choose a new friend for the crew, I think, if they're going to become a playable character, because you won't be able to leverage your friends anymore because they'll be a person that you're playing. So
it could be the mechanic, he could be turf and a person and a friend.
Nice. Yeah, that's true.
We love turning our NPCs into like overpowered, ridiculous people, like turf and the friend and all the everything, and then VD being like the mastermind. We've got like a real inferiority complex with our characters. We think everyone else associated with us is better than we are.
Yeah, well, I should change that. When I expect that in the quick start, Vidi won't say a cook anymore. It'll be like a mastermind or something like that. I'll change it so it reflects it. I think that'll be fun. So yeah, your choices are all of them except Vidi. There isn't a mechanic anymore though. So how you like that? There's a Nourish Lawyer, which is the gene hacking corporation, right? Flickers are PIs that have those capes that make them go invisible, and you just see a flicker before it goes away. A go-between is, like a fixer or whatever. If you need some hookups, then that would be some good fictional positioning. A scrapper is somebody who goes out of the probably fairly close to shelter one, but tries to scrounge for stuff. And a snitch is a snitch.
I like the most evocative one for me is the flickery PI dude. Do you guys want to have a friend that's an awesome PI with an invisibility cloak? I do.
Yeah, basically they get paid, or they try to get more information, and then they disseminate the information through this like smart paper stuff that they kind of put up. So it'd be like now when people staple those flyers to places, except it's just like adhesive smart paper that is like renewable and eco-friendly and all that kind of stuff. So when you look at it, it starts scrolling and has different information on it for whatever they're putting, and then they later can reprogram them for whatever else is new or whatever.
Kind of like they're like town criers a little bit.
Kind of, well. except like the sentinels and like authority and stuff like that don't like them for sure, right?
Cool.
So it'd be like town criers that could get shot at. Sure.
Yeah, unofficial town criers.
Yeah. Were you gonna say something?
I also just changed. I edited the Roll20 crew sheet to add all those contacts on there. So if anyone wants to look at that real quick before we make a decision, it's on the crew sheet now.
Cool. A gruff asshole. Yes, you'll get Harrison Ford, but less rapey. It's that. Well, I'm not going to say it's not his fault, but and he got cast in some very specific roles that he was good at. We'll say. Don't take no for an answer. You're too hot.
Yeah, they do. You wonder where, like, it's interesting how that's been in multiple like roles. But maybe it's just in movies in general across the main era of his acting career as well, I guess.
Yeah, late 80s, early 90s is still like, what is rape culture? So yeah. But yeah, so you can decide on that, and then you have the 2 crew upgrades or a special ability, right?
Okay.
For the crew.
Any other thoughts on who we want for a contact? We have that Flickr, which I think has Lou's vote at the moment. Anybody else have anything they're lobbying for?
Lauren said we can have him, but only if he's an asshole with a heart of gold.
I'd be into that. Yep. Sorry, what about you, Aaron? What do you think?
No, I think that's good.
Okay, adding that then. So we've got Tiago, a Flickr.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, and then we got our crew upgrade. So we need to decide whether we want 2 little upgrades or another one of the special abilities. Does anybody else have any thoughts on that? I don't think it's like super necessary that we get a vault right now, because we can divvy up the coin that we've got, and we can always put stuff in our personal stash to be able to, like hoard stuff. So we can get a vault, but and I think it will be useful, but I don't think it's like necessary. There are some other very cool special abilities that we could take if we wanted one of those.
Yeah, and you already have the good stuff. So
We
you
do.
could be coming into some good money depending on what your choice is after downtime.
Yeah.
One thing that I was thinking is if we've stirred up a bit of a hornet's nest, perhaps a bee's nest, an artificial bee's nest, one might say. Maybe elite rooks or thugs might be helpful for us as a crew upgrade.
We do have to, the way that works, I was actually just reading on that in the Blades book recently. So in order to get elite rooks and thugs, we already have to have a cohort. And if you look down below, cohorts cost 2 upgrade two upgrade boxes, basically. So we can get the cohort now, and then we could take elite rooks or elite thugs later, which basically upgrades that cohort, if that makes sense.
Got it.
Yeah, so we can definitely get a cohort. I mean, that's an option for us. There's a whole process for creating a cohort.
So our options in these upgrades are that okay, sorry. So this is my sort of not understanding how Blades operates, really. So part of this is about gaining territory, or this could be about gaining territory. This could be about bringing more people into the gang, or just being a small gang that like does these targeted operations, right? Are these different options, or are these supposed to happen in tandem with
And
one another?
we kind of, I think the way I understand it, as our gang tiers up, or levels up, we naturally become larger as well.
Yeah.
Like it's assumed, so our zero tier or whatever, we have 4 or 5 hangers on or whatever, and then
1 or 2.
one or two, yeah, then it moves up. So it's kind of in the fiction that you do grow a bit, yeah.
Yeah, you'll get more people as you tier up because you're getting that cloud and all that kind of stuff. The options for your increases, though, is to make those few people that you have as specifically good at something.
Okay.
Yeah, and then like rooks and all that kind of stuff. They're good at specific things like infiltration. Some of them are good at thugs and stuff like that.
I spent all my downtime creating those one-shot cohorts last time, one-off,
Right.
kind of, yeah. But I guess if we do it via the crew upgrade, they stick around, right? They're more permanent things.
Yeah.
I think one thing that that Bergen would probably appreciate as a special ability is High Society. It's all about who you know. Take -1 heat during downtime and add +1 D to gather info about the city's elites.
That's pretty cool, and especially since we've got a really good drug, we could always target, higher, more affluent buyers if we were interested in that. That could be a very interesting way to go.
And could potentially play in with having VT as a PC now, in terms of seeing them get to where their connections lie and all of that sort of stuff. I'd be into that. Yeah. I don't think my character would care about it at all, my new character, but I'm happy to have it.
Yeah. Let's see. So then, yeah. So then my vote is that we do either high society if we want to go with a special ability, or we do like vault and one other checkbox if we want to go those other upgrades. I'm totally cool with either. I like high society. I think that's a good way to go. So any other votes?
What does the vault do?
Vault allows us to our crew to hold more cred at one time. Right now we are limited. If you look at the crew sheet, we're limited to, let me find it. Mode. We are limited to 4 cred that the crew itself can hold right now. If we add a vault, that lets us add more. You'll see that we've got more cred than fits in that small little first 4 boxes. That's just because we have a ton from this last score that we're either going to have to divvy up between us, or we're going to have to spend before, because if we end downtime with more cred than can fit in our like a crew, which is 4 currently, then we lose it, basically. Like we just can't handle that volume. But if we get a vault, we'll have something in our hideout that lets us store more.
And as I understand it, this is the actual coin that we have, but doesn't include the 12 cred worth of materials that we're sitting on.
Correct. So we've got a potential windfall just sitting there that vaults would be helpful for helping us like actually manage what we can bring in currently. But that's one option. That's only one way to handle it. We can divide up the cred that we get from that among the players, and players can hold up to like 4 currently, I believe, individually, right? Or is it less?
Yeah, it's 4.
4, yeah, and then, but you can also then put it in your own stash, so that's okay. If we want to make it more like a payout to individuals, that's cool. Or if we want the crew to be able to handle like large amounts of cash that we can bring in, then we probably want to vault.
Yeah, just remember if you put it in your stash, then you're paying more to get it back later.
Absolutely, yeah.
Hey, from a visualizing a world perspective, what are creds like, and is the vault an actual physical vault, or is it some sort of like data vault, like back alley data vault or something? Like, how does that work, Fraser? How do you visualize that? Yeah.
Server or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking for now cred is gonna be like I can't remember what book it was that I recently read it in, but it was a situation like this where the banks had been down. So basically, all of the creds is basically these like prepaid cards that you get from specific lenders and stuff like that. So I picture a vault and stuff like that is something like a cryptocurrency thing where you would like download your like swipe your prepaid card or whatever, and it would hold it on something secure that couldn't be like taken or whatever, as opposed to just having the actual cards. And yeah, it was in it. It's like they like hitting on the aspect of people maybe like grifting others, selling these prepaid cards that are only good for a certain amount of time or possibly not good at all. And you have to like be careful where you get your cards from and stuff like that. So we'll see. It might change into something else that's physical, but for now I'm thinking something like that, like the prepaid cards and whatnot. Because yeah, in a society like this, I think that the paper stuff wouldn't be that valuable. But the hurdle for that I'll have to come across is that the forged communities probably use something else, right? Because they wouldn't care what Shelter One's using. So we'll see. But for now, let's just assume that it's like those prepaid cards.
Cool.
Okay. Any other thoughts on upgrades then before we make a decision here?
I say we do the vault at least, and then yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Any other? What do you guys think? Lou, Lauren, vault, yay or nay?
Sounds good.
Okay, so we'll do at least 1 tick in vault, and then we could do another tick in vault, or we could do 1 tick in another option here. Let's see. might be, I mean, we can always, training is always useful. So if we do a training downtime action, you know, like right now we've got training in resolve. So if we do a training downtime action, you get 2 ticks in that resolve training. If we get another one of those, you can, you know, if there's a specific thing people want to be training, you know, either insight or prowess, if we tick that, then downtime activities will give us double
We
training.
I want us to have some sort of vehicle.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Just because that's cool.
Yeah.
And we have a workshop and everything to like, yeah. That's my vote anyway. Just like, it's probably not, it's just totally like what a fiction thing, I guess, what sort of stories we tell. But I mean, I guess it can have mechanical like effects because it's blades, but I just want an awesome like car or something.
Fraser, what kind of vehicles are readily available, like that we could have? I mean, are we talking like flying cars and crap, or is it like all ground based, or what?
Vehicles are usually ground based, and then I think I'm probably going to make whatever boats are going to become the flying stuff, and that'll be it'll be more regulated and like controlled. I think each district is going to be as big as like a large city, so you could have some fly cover over that. But I'm thinking that each district is going to be heavily like policed. You have to have the specific information on your nanites to be able to go in and out of specific districts. So it's policed and controlled in that way. So even if you're in a vehicle, you can just be like, "Hey, now we're in a different district," right? Like, so.
Maybe we want a boat then. Well, I want a boat anyway.
They're flying, right? Yeah, we could do that. Anybody want who wants a jet?
But I'm happy I'm just being dumb. I don't really mind if we don't get a boat yet. A flying boat.
A flying boat.
I think it makes sense fictionally too, in the sense that one way of imagining what we've done is by taking over the territory of the corrupted chaos, constructed chaos. And so our space is expanding to some degree. So this would allow us movement to take out whatever our next target might be.
Sure. Another thing is you guys wanted to, or you were talking about moving to being like shadowy manipulators and not being so much like show of force people. So you might want a hidden place as well.
That's possible. Yeah. We've kind of already got that sort of fictionally taken care of with it being like, you know, all of our quarters being in a basement, but I'm imagining expanding the underground operation and making it easier to come and go without it being obvious that we're associated with the blue oolong.
Yeah.
That could be good.
It becomes more of an actual front where people aren't like aware that you're there.
Yeah, let's do that. We probably don't really need an awesome flying boat right now.
Yet. We do need it, just maybe not like yet. Yeah. Okay. So what do you guys think about hidden? Does that sound cool? Yeah. Okay. Then I'll check that.
To the Batcave.
Sweet.
Instead of vehicle, it'll be spinners, but instead of boat, I mean, it'll be vehicle and spinners.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, Lou. I think it being hidden means that we don't any longer have like just a bead curtain between the blue oolong and our back area. That'd probably be a little more secure than that.
I was just gonna say, I think that that maybe those beads are no longer they're no longer physical beads. Maybe I install like some type of electronic bead that like sort of masks the space a little bit more, like a double layer of beads, but it also is like some type of security blanket as well.
Nice. Like kind of camo, so it like gives you an image that's not what it actually looks like back there or something, or
you have to and you have to like split the beads at a certain place, like between certain strands of beads, in order to not get like
sliced to pieces. Yeah, that's awesome.
That's very cool. I like that. All right, so it's not that we're getting rid of the beads, we're just upgrading the beads.
No big deal.
Okay.
Cool. So you got hidden and a vault, right? Cool. That's cool. So you actually have like a front bank account or something now. Cool. So that's taken care of. Everybody marked stash. Do you have enough to advance your crew? Again? You had one. You already advanced once as a crew, right? Like you're a rep to the tier?
No, we haven't. I don't think we've rolled over on rep yet.
Okay.
No, so we're almost there. We got one more rep in order to do that, so that we could bump up in tier or take stronghold either.
Okay, and I already rolled your entanglement, so I have a question for Lou. What was the flaws again of the people that you hired?
I wrote them down. I'll have a look.
I believe one of them was principled and the other was something else, like savage or something.
Was it? Maybe I just only. Oh yeah. Maybe it was fearsome and.
Fearsome?
Oh yeah, no. So the big scary thug.
Yeah.
He was fearsome and savage.
Right.
And the uncle and the nephew were tenacious but principled.
Ah, good. Okay.
Yeah.
So why don't we let's have the new people introduce themselves. Then we'll do entanglement, and then we'll do the rest of the downtime stuff. We already did rep and heat, right? Yeah, because I remember you guys got a lot of heat. So we definitely did that. And then we just need to do the entanglement and then move to downtime then, I believe. Cool. So, yeah, why don't you introduce Fleur then?
Cool. Yeah, so I think what I changed my mind with what trauma Habib picked up as well. Instead of cold, I picked up obsessed. So I think she's got some strange like drive to like care for this teenager that she's abducted. And I think maybe has at least temporarily, she's either absconded with her or is like weirdly hanging around the tea shop, like trying to do whatever the hell she's doing now. Yeah, so I'm gonna play as Fleur now, who's the lens kind of the character, like they're like a shooter, like sniper kind of character. That's how I'm seeing them right now. How did you? I remember you introduced them. There's her and Remy. How did you? Do you remember how you described their look? Because I'm happy just to pick that up.
No, I can't remember if I can't remember what I remember I did describe Fleur at one point, but I can't remember what picture
I think they had some sort of street punk like kind of look. I guess that's what I'll go for.
Yeah,
I think maybe
I definitely was describing a picture somewhere in the Hack the Planet Pinterest, but I can't remember which one it was for her.
Yeah, cool. Well, let's just picture her as a bit of like that shaved side of the head kind of like street punky thing.
Oh, actually, I think I know which one it was. I'll send it to you here. Here you go. It's the actress I was thinking of for it was I can't remember her name, but it's Game of Thrones, where she was going to marry the insufferable king guy, the little midget, or not the midget guy, or not the dwarf, the kid who was a real jerk, Joffrey, the one who was going to marry him. You know, I can't remember that actress's name, but she's amazing. And I have a picture there that I sent you where she's like, someone's photoshopped some badass cyberpunk stuff going on with her.
How do you define street punk, Aaron? I'm talking about the streets in this actual world, not like some sort of 80s
like in terms of look and stuff like that, or
yeah, I'm just thinking of like colored hair and probably ridiculous hair.
Yeah, well, it's the same haircut.
Not safety pins, and
yeah,
I can't see that picture either that you.
Oh, you can't?
No, it's something went wrong.
I've been having trouble with links posted in there, but from Pinterest. But if you copy the link address and then put it in a new window, it works for me. But I can't click directly on the link for some reason.
What?
But by the way, the actress is Natalie Dormer.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it worked. Oh yeah, cool. I know who you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
she
it's
looks like that.
yeah. Yeah. Blonde hair. It's swept over the sides, except instead of it ending at like a mohawk, it goes down her entire head, and then she's got like the tattoo of some sort of like twine and like growth of natural green tea
Yeah,
growth
cool.
or something like that on the side with the three dark dots. And I really like the braid that goes down the side as well. I thought that was really cool. But yeah, in
What's the
terms of
grasshopper heritage?
grasshopper means that you came by way of land close by to the
Oh yeah, cool.
yeah. And it's if you look on your character sheets, the root is now actually like a mechanism for getting XP because it's how you're going to be marginalized as well.
Ah, cool.
So.
Yeah, so how I'm pitched this character's going to be some sort of, I think, VT's like niece or something like that that's come. She's been sent here. We kind of foreshadowed it. She's been sent here. I've put trade as the background, so I think there's from some sort of, mercantile family, and I think she's like messing up. They've essentially sent her to military like school, sent her to VD to like sort her out and stop her from getting into trouble. And now she's gonna get into like a whole heap of trouble.
Right.
Yeah, beyond that, I chose that Storm Hunter thing, so she's got a drone that can like track and engage with acts of God more easily, which is kind of cool. And her friends, she's got to go between a meal, and her enemy is Raffaella, a merc for hire. Which I totally don't know how she pissed them off, but anyway.
Yeah. Like she's a child, but also a mercenary's after her.
Yeah, I think she's actually like 18 or 19 or something.
Yeah,
she's probably she's
like,
in that. Yeah,
like you're picturing in our present time, it would be like she's out of high school and taking like a couple years off before college, and that year
she's probably meant to be doing something already, but she's like screwing up instead.
Nice, failing forward.
Yeah. Yeah, so I obviously don't know heaps about her yet, but I'll see what happens.
Yeah. Okay. And Lauren, do you want to introduce the new VD that nobody knows because she's secretly been pulling the strings of everyone?
I would love to. Sorry, as soon as I said that, I'm trying to navigate my PDF, and my PDF's like, nope, you can't do that. Cool. So yes, Speedy the Secret Mastermind. I don't know if we established a look for her. She was kind of oldish, right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think we expounded on her look that much beyond her being like a cook and a little bit older. And I think that we had said that she had not like Caucasian skin, something like that.
Awesome. On top of, so I just wrote down her look is like a contradictory mix of kind and mean as hell. So kind of like her being like, they're super friendly. You can come down and have a cup of tea and we'll talk about business and stuff. But then if you try and pull any shit on her, she's just gonna get like real control-y and tell you where to get off because she's seen some shit bad. I gave her background as Foundation is like the people that have always lived, like born, bred, shelter one, right?
Yeah, they're the ones that literally like were there since the beginning and contributed in some way to building up the shelter in the city.
Yeah. So I think that's probably her background. Like she's just such an institution in this place. And now has like her roots in the Roots district. Um, I was tossing it between trade and underground, funnily enough, Lou, but I ended up going with underground. Um, just because I kind of like the idea that if she has this Foundation background, she sort of had more of like um financial control or financial power over some of Shelter One before it got super corporate privileged and everything, and now her business sort of like was put on the squeeze, and she had to sort of dip into less legal means of getting by, which is why she now sells drugs at her tea shop that used to be like the super flashy, like good tea shop, probably like run for generations or however long Shelter One goes back. Or maybe she says it's been going for generations, but it hasn't. It's just tea shops are always fancier and stuff if you say that this goes back down my family line for generations. Um, I think her vice is gambling. I kind of like that idea. Also explains why she is bad at running a business.
Yeah. Well, and like maybe gets a certain kind of thrill from having set up these circumstances with people, right? Like maybe some of the thrill is not knowing if these people are gonna pull off the job or not. Like
Yeah, totally.
that's pretty funny. Just like we'll see.
I also took the move. The oh, well connected. So we'll get a +1 result level when acquiring assets and reducing heat. So hopefully that should be helpful, given how much shit we got into in the last session.
Yeah. I think you and Lou, you guys can take if you guys had another XP to advance. Well, maybe not Lou, because you have Haboob still, but if you've already taken apart your previous character, then maybe you can take another advance for VD because we'll never be seeing that other character again, I guess, right?
That makes sense, and it reflects her, like, she's an older character that's competent and like she's not really just new.
Yeah. Did you have one or two playbook advances from before?
I think I had one.
Okay,
Yeah.
so grab another one, and
Oh, awesome.
the playbook is the Feint, right?
Yes.
Cool. And yeah, and then your friends, your shrewd friends.
So I think she's probably super good friends with Elsa. They're probably just like childhood friends. Elsa's always around at the tea shop drinking tea. Probably of a similar age. And I think that she has a poor relationship with Noah, who is an assistant to an exec. I just don't think she respects Noah. Noah is only in that position because he has family connections and that company is super nepotistic. And maybe I don't know, maybe the exec he's tied to or whatever has some interest in like buying out the Roots and turning it into like a super corporate thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I could picture Noah as being like a fuck boy or something who like is the one who served you with glee the papers that your business was failing, like you're defaulting on, like instead of them sending you some smart paper saying that you're like second payment and one more and your business is gone or whatever, he like hand delivered it and is kind of like gleefully being like, I'm gonna like take your business and like sell it and shit when it defaults, that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. Spot on.
He's a douche.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something to pay attention to now is if you struggle with issues from your vice, your root, or traumas during a session, then you mark XP. So the root could potentially matter depending on what's going on in the fiction. And then you still have your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background to get XP from as well. And I think the heritage will be part of look, or maybe I can rearrange the final playbook to have heritage as well as it. Because yeah, maybe not put it as, I think having it as part of the look would not be as good as having it separately, since it's a heritage, and saying that it's the same as the look is kind of not so good. So we'll see what we can do with the final sheet, but just be aware of that. And I think you're good then. So your good stats are consort and finesse to begin with. And you'll notice I put a little description at the top of the first page. Yeah, all the actions have the actual names with little descriptions now, so it'll maybe be a little bit easier for you. And cool. So do you want to have like introductory scenes, like I imagine us opening this episode probably with a scene from either VD or Fleur introducing them as like characters that we're going to be seeing more of or something. And Aaron has a question about if VD is like going to be a subtle mastermind from behind, like that nobody is aware of, being puppeted and stuff like that, or is there like a big reveal about, like, is the crew aware that VD is the puppeteer or no?
Ooh, I kind of feel like after Lost, Ron went so badly, maybe that was when she was saying, "Okay, guys, I'm gonna stop begging around."
Yeah, like
I guess it did go badly, but it's got a lot of heat on the shop that I care a lot about.
Right, you murdered how many people?
Yeah.
well, half of the crew is also like pretty much gone or out of action now as well. So
and super high for half of it, right? What have I told you guys about sampling their product?
Oh yeah, I had actually, I forgot I kind of had more of a justification for her boob leaving, because she was meant to be high as well on that
Oh yes.
gas. And I think maybe when she saw this is a bit bleedy, but when she saw that girl, she's like, because she's got family at home that she's sending money to, I think maybe when she first saw that girl, she saw her as like one of her, like her younger sister or something, and that's why she ran off into the like storm to like try catch her and everything. So I think even now that she's come out of that, she's got this weird connection going on with this.
So Haboob took that girl as well, or is the girl at the shop?
I think Haboob is still around. Like she doesn't have anywhere else to go. I think she's here still, because I might even play her later. She's just out of action in terms of she's going to refuse to go on any missions while she's looking after this girl.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
If that works, good. I'm happy to like have her disappear for a while as well.
No, that's completely fine. I just wanted to know if people wanted, like, how much we wanted to focus on this girl being there in the fiction. So if it's just a side thing that
I'm picturing it's just part of having the mechanic, and it's also part of building the daycare that we were talking about.
Daycare thing is strange.
Yeah, I think it'll just be, well, for me anyway, I'm happy for it to be a side thing, with also having the mechanic and his family still in the quarters and stuff. Yeah,
the mechanic and the and all that stuff we'll hit on soon, because I rolled entanglements. So yeah. How about, what is the opening scene of VD though? Like, how do we get to see as an audience that VD is a more than just like a side character, basically?
were there any survivors from the last?
Just that girl.
Just that girl. Hmm.
Oh, and maybe that one that I blinded but snuck off afterwards, right?
Oh
Are we
yeah.
Are we gonna do that? She could just have died. I just like making trouble for later.
I kind of, if that's true and she's alive, I kind of even like the opening scene of like we see like Vidi's boots crunching on the kitchen or something, like depending on what you want to do with the girl. But it might be interesting to reveal that to the audience that like everyone's left or whatever, they come back, the snowstorm or the sandstorm is still going, but Vidi's in the kitchen or whatever trying to take care of stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I had in mind.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what would Vidi do? Yeah, about the blinded person. I think it was. I have the name. Tamar, was it? Constructed chaos. Where are you? Yeah, Tamar was the one that got hit with the shotgun blast, and we sort of saw Left for Dead the previous time.
I think we should do what we should always do whenever we hurt people or have guests in our house, which is serve them tea. So, yeah, maybe the shot too is like you get a thing of Vidi crunching through the sandstorm, then it's dissipated and sort of like delivering an order of tea to poor Tabari, though she probably can't drink it. But
yeah, I think she was pretty messed up. But...
well, the interest poisoned.
Yeah, what is? Well, I'll let you epilogue it. Like you have full narrative control of what you want Vidi to be doing with this person, but it is interesting because Tamar is also the mother of the girl, right? Oh, Lauren?
I lost everyone for all of that.
Oh no. Okay. So you have full narrative control for how you want to, like, just give us a scene of what you do. Hello?
I have audio on just for a second because my internet decided to die for some reason.
Okay. So you can hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay, so you'll just describe like the opening scene there with Vidi interacting with this person, but Tamar is also the mother of that girl, right? Remember, I had said they had the same haircut as the husband that got taken out and the girl that Haboob is now with. So bear that in mind, and then yeah, maybe just like give us the like mastermindy thing that Vidi does, you know.
Oh man, I'm gonna paint Vidi and it's not a good person.
Yeah, that's fine.
Next 10 seconds.
Yeah, do it.
I apologize. Maybe so. I guess like we see Vidi like maybe sitting next to this poor woman by whatever bed she's like resting up and having been shot in the face. And there's like a little, like one of those like little tiny coffee presses of like tea or whatever, just like sort of brewing and steeping away. It's probably like blue Oolong, with like 2 cups there, and we see Vidi put a hand on this woman's hand, and the woman maybe asks like things to the effect of like, "Just please tell me my daughter's okay." And she's like gives her a sympathetic frown and cocks her head to the side and says like, she was lost to the storm, but we're trying to find her." Yeah, I think that.
So you guys lie about it. So is this is Vidi holding Tamar somewhere else in that house or something like that? Like, or is Tamar back at your guys' hideout, recuperating or whatever?
Is she back at her place?
Well, I think her daughter. I think the daughter is at our place currently, right, with Haboob.
Yeah.
So
why not?
if you're trying to keep them separate, then I don't know.
Oh, maybe not. Maybe we've Tavara's back at our place, and we're just taking care of people that we've injured.
Okay. So, but you're keeping, I guess ostensibly we're keeping the girl in some other quarters or whatever, right?
Yeah, that would be prudent.
Yeah. Okay. So they both, like, the girl doesn't know that the mother is here and the mother doesn't know that the girl's here. But they're both like recuperating in this space.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Cool. Okay. Well, interesting. Let's see. And
Sorry.
what, Aaron?
Just real quick, how did we wind up with Tomar in the so Tomar survived?
Yeah. And then we had like
Haboob shot her in her face
okay.
and blinded her, and she was kind of left behind, I think.
Yeah.
And then I guess VD's arranged for her to be brought back to the shop, and is lying to her about her daughter for some reason.
No, I said that because I didn't realize she was at our place, but we could totally like.
It doesn't have to be at your place though.
I kind of like that. Though it's weird and manipulative, but I find it fun. I think we should leave it in there.
Yeah.
I'm seeing your manipulator character like being able to play one off the other and have that be like a thing you hold over their heads, like yeah, we can absolutely get you your daughter back if you do blah for us or something like that.
That's a good point. Yeah,
They're already there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, like 2 walls away, there's the daughter or whatever.
Yeah, I think Haboob's probably there, like playing some game with her with dolls that's like way too young for the actual like age person it is. Like,
okay, Aaron, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that this sounds an awful lot like we already have a daycare going on.
Why do you guys want a daycare again?
I think it's just a running joke. We're not really starting a daycare, right? Okay. It's just been our back channel, like, haha, we're finally gonna start our daycare. Don't worry, Fraser, we don't have to start a daycare center.
Okay, because I was gonna be y'all gonna make a long-term project then. And also it's weird. What's the opening introductory shot of Fleur then, though? Oh, what were you gonna say, Aaron? No. Okay.
So I guess she's just coming from somewhere else in Shelter 1, right? I guess where's the what's a kind of middle classy place in Shelter 1 to come from?
I'm still doing this Roots place. So I can do whatever you want. Maybe if you want to keep it as if you're keeping it in the same terminology of a foundation of a tree or something like that. I'm not sure what you guys were going for with the Roots, but it could just be working its way up. So it could be like the trunk or something like that.
Yeah. Maybe it's called the xylem, which is like the the veins in the tree. It's where xylophone comes from. It's it's some sort of like play on the mercantile and industrial part of the like vault is what keeps it all, things moving around through the veins of the city and stuff like that, and keeping it all alive. How would she arrive is to Citrus City.
We call it shit town. Everyone's on point.
Yeah, I guess. What is the transport like? Are there like taxis?
Like from district to district, you mean, or what?
How would you travel around? Zip lines.
I'm picturing from district to district. It's almost like a checkpoint going from border to border, like U.S. and Canada.
Yeah.
You could be in a taxi if you wanted to.
I think maybe it's some sort of like public transport sort of thing, like a small, a small bus or whatever, and it like pulls up outside the thing, and we see like this young woman get off with like a couple of bags and stuff. Yeah.
It could be even if we want to illustrate what it's like for people not, or like people trying to hack their nanites to get from district to district. We could even have it as like there's like a monorail from district to district because the districts are like actual cities. It would take a while. And maybe we see like the you on one of those transports, which looks like a lot nicer. It's probably separated by like class and which car you would ride. So yours is like all minimalistic Blade Runner 2049, and then the next one is like kind of gross and stuff like that. And maybe it's like got green tinted lighting on it, and suddenly it like stops and turns red, and you have like a panicked moment a little bit on the screen. But then the sentinels come in with their like I picture them as wearing sort of like dark cloaks with red pins and got like the obscures on their eyes that are a little bit more like militant looking, basically. And they sort of just like grab this guy who was trying to hop into another district, and like then they leave, the doors come back on, and it goes from like red stop to green again, and you continue on.
Phew.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you were hacking your way into the district or not too, but I think it would be something that would be cool in the like TV show of it to illustrate that.
Just to answer Aaron's question, I think I've seen people often set the crew sheet up just as a separate sheet entirely, so we could maybe try to copy it across to a separate one we can just click on more easily.
I can do that.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't need to mess with the system. I was just curious.
Yeah, I just get scared I'm gonna wreck Jesse's character sheet every time I go into the click on the wrong stuff. Yeah, so I guess we see Fleur kind of get off this monorail thing with some bags and stuff and maybe walk down through this street, and I guess the viewer would start to recognize the parts of the street that we've seen in the show before. And I guess she would have spent time here in the past.
If only the people I was going to here had a spinner or a vehicle.
Yeah. To come and pick me up. Yeah. Yeah, maybe she's like, oh man, they could have come and Vidi could have come and picked me up. She's shoulders in through the door, throws her. She's kind of looking like she's has some sort of ownership over the place. She's throws her bags right in the middle of the room and maybe walks straight around the counter into Vidi's kind of little back room and stuff.
And does Vidi doesn't know you're coming, right? This is part of a rebellion thing?
I think Vidi, I imagine that she's been sent here. Fleur's been sent here, so they've contacted her. Or maybe even, maybe Vidi's even manipulated this thing to happen for her to come here rather than be sent to, the wayward cyberpunk school for naughty girls.
It's like a work release thing, and you did something bad, and instead of going to prison or something like that, Vidi's set up that she'll be your guardian or something like that. And
I think so, a guarantor, probation officer kind of thing.
Cool.
Anyway, I think I'd come in and throw my some other bags and stuff down. I'm here. Why am I here?
Why don't we take 5? That'll be a good place to stop.
Cool.
So
I'm gonna make the biggest coffee in the whole universe.
yeah, cool. See you at 15. Okay.
I'm excited. Love 2 just dropped.
Yeah, I just saw that. I'm trying to download it now, but it won't take me to it.
Oh no.
Take me. Unlock it now. I am a patron.
I've just got to. I'm back, but I've just got to keep an ear out for my coffee when it's ready, so it doesn't explode.
You would. It's unacceptable.
And I just got everything switched over to the communal crew sheet. I think it should all be there now.
Oh, cool.
Worked on that during the break, so we should be set.
That's quick. Thank you.
No worries.
Thanks for doing that. If you ever get sick of being the secretary, feel free to pass it along.
Yeah, I like how now everyone's like, can we all see this, but can Jesse still be the one that does everything?
I'm totally cool with that. I'm having fun with it, you know. So if anyone else wants to, they absolutely can. But honestly, it's not a big deal. I'm kind of enjoying playing with that. So
I also like you doing it.
That's funny.
Nice.
So, for anybody who's watching, I believe Lauren just made her inaugural game designer thing going on, right? Like, is this the first thing that came out on? I'm trying to remember if you did something earlier than this.
I did Hawkeye's Making Out. That was the...
Oh, yeah. So you guys missed it. This is the second inaugural. But you should download Codex Cold and Codex Love too, because well, why don't you just give us like the short pitch of what it is?
If the current thing it's at now.
Yeah, the Love 2. What's in Love 2?
Well, it's pretty much the Final Girl Bachelor edition. So instead of playing out a horror slasher flick where you kill off people one by one, you play a season of The Bachelor where you date people and then eliminate them one by one until there's one person left. And that is the person you may or may not marry, depending upon how your narrative goes down. But, yeah, I'm super pumped about it.
Yeah.
Real fun and stupid.
But I think it's less stupid than the Final Girl, to be honest. But yeah, the Final Girl makes so much sense as long as you believe in fantasy patriarchal views of who should die in horror movies. But sure, it's like, I mean, it's called after a trope, so yeah. But yeah, so anybody watching can go to gauntlet-rpg.com or the Gauntlet Patreon and get, I think you can still get Cold, so you could get Hawkeye's Making Out Sherlock Edition by Lauren, and you could get Love 2 and get it on Final Girl that isn't shitty. I'm kidding. Final Girl's good. It's not good. Yeah, so anyway, back to the game. Yes, so entanglements. Woohoo! What I'm thinking is very simply, I rolled, and it's going to be that the son and the like the old guy and the son that was protecting them, I think they do just like a fine job, but they also get some glimpses as to what's been happening, and they're too principled to be taking part of in this. And so let me just pull up the, oh shoot, that's not good. They are going to cause trouble due to their flaw, to be transparent as fuck. So you can lose face, which is like, I think what they'll do is probably like, if you're, let's see, lose face is forfeit rep equal to your tier +1. So it's got to be something that people kind of like hear about. Like, I think what they would hear about, since they're principled, is that literally you killed people, right? I think that makes sense. Like, I think you kind of pitched the idea that you're gonna just go like, you know, rough some people up or whatever, but instead there's a girl and the mother in the basement and everybody else is dead. So I think in terms of a principled group of people, they're just sort of like out. So not only did they not want to participate in what you were paying them for, but they also are going to cost you a little bit of rep. And it's not so much rep that I think you'll be taking heat for it, because that's not what the entanglement calls for. But I think in terms of the underground, you lose a little bit of rep because people are like, damn, these people are like malicious and hardcore. Like they'll essentially be disseminating, I was in this place and I seen some shit. So lose face, forfeit rep equal to your tier +1, make an example of one of the gang members, or face reprisals from the wronged party. If you lack a gang or other cohorts with a flaw, there's no entanglement. So because we were kind of halfway, it wasn't, you had acquired them as an asset. I don't think they're going to retaliate against you because that would be suicidal. But I think it makes sense to forfeit the rep equal to your tier +1 unless you do something about them doing that. Like maybe the scene in this show is that these two people are kind of like approaching you all. Maybe it's just when Fleur comes in, right? You do that scene, you make an entrance, and as you're about to address VD, the father and son come up, and they're like, we don't want to have any more of this shit, and it's like super awkward. And you probably even see the father kind of grip his son's shoulder protectively, and kind of his eyes drift to what I'm assuming is the basement where those people are being kept. So you know, like, they know a little bit of something, and I think they're slowly, like, we just get the shot of them like leaving out the front door unless anybody does something, and that'll be the rep cost unless somebody does something.
Fleur raises her eyebrows curiously.
Yeah, who the fuck are they?
So mechanically, our options are what again for not losing the rep?
You can do something about these people leaving. Like, I don't know what you would do. Control them, command them, do something like that to them. Or forfeit rep equal to tier +1. So I guess it would be 1, right?
Yeah, we'd only be losing 1 rep, and I don't know if we. What do you guys want to do?
Lose 1 rep.
Yeah.
I'm kind of okay with that, actually. Yeah, yeah.
Y'all were kind of bad.
Do we have to do something specifically to them?
What were you thinking? I'm open.
So one of the things that from, I think this was back in session 1 or 2, I was talking about creating like a pirate radio system.
Right.
And so one way that we could sort of combat that is not to do something to them per se, but perhaps launch this pirate radio and like get out ahead of it and try to spin the story so that it either like confuses, it muddies the truth with the lies, so that they can spend their story, but perhaps it doesn't have the same kind of weight as if, as if we didn't have some control over the airwaves.
Yeah, like we spread rumors about like constructed chaos, maybe it being worse than they were. Like, so it seems like not such a bad thing, maybe, that they were taken out, or, you know, whatever, you know, like some other lies about what actually happened there, sort of thing. It was just an act of God, you know, the other night. Totally wiped out, constructed chaos. Oh no.
An act of God that had bullets in it. Sure. Well, I could see probably VD being the one who would kind of get the information and then you disseminating it. And then based on that, we would see how well it went. Does that make sense? VD, what was the second move that you took as well? If you decided, there's no pressure. I was just thinking if you took well connected, That would make sense.
I already have that one. So I have that one here.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. So I think that you would definitely know. Yeah, you literally can't fail it. So because you get +1 result level when you acquire an asset or reduce heat. Oh, that's acquiring an asset. But you still have the fictional positioning of being well connected. So cool. I don't think we need to abstract it to VD doing 2 rolls. Why don't we just see how well it goes? And I think it'll just be like a fortune roll. I don't think there's a lot riding on this because it's just 1 rep. But let's say if you get, it'll be, if you get even a partial success, then you don't lose a rep. And if you get a full success, I'll give you a rep.
Awesome.
Yeah, because you're spinning your shit. Let's make PR terrible but good. So give me a fortune roll for your however you're doing it.
Oh, I see.
For Bergen for doing the pirate stuff.
Oh.
I'm not gonna get you to roll. We're just gonna say that you did get the information because, yeah, I think you would already know. If that's cool. I don't want to do like 2 rolls just to abstract out the rep thing. Is that okay with you?
So you want me to do 2 rolls?
No, I just want 1 fortune roll for however you're trying to spin it, and then we'll just have maybe a extra die for VD helping you, and we'll say that VD has the information already, so we don't do an extra roll. Does that make sense for everybody? Yeah? Okay. Okay, so what skill were you using though?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was so sorry.
Oh, you rolled. Okay, yeah, I see what happened. So, I mean, like we're gonna make the roll a fortune roll. It doesn't have to be an actual fortune. I just want you to say like how you're doing it with what action.
Got it.
And then it'll be a fortune roll in that there's no stakes. Like nothing's coming back on you, right?
Okay, sorry. So I think this is Tinker. I think that's what's
Sure.
that's what I've been working through.
Yeah. So yeah, you'll get more than 1 die.
Phew.
And one from VD helping.
Yeah, make sure you add that. That's funny. I like that a lot. Okay. Interesting. So it doesn't work for whatever reason. Everyone knows that it's you because they hear your birds. The PR spin does not work. Maybe I think actually, like, since we're playing a game where you're all competent and everything, right? So I think you do get this information out, but not before they're able to disseminate theirs. So there's like a muddling of truth, but it might be later on. So you'll still take the rep hit. And then boom, let's go into downtime. Does anyone have prepared actions that they would like to do? Let me get to that page. Downtime. We already did payoff, heat done. Don't need to do incarceration, entanglements. Yeah, so you guys are good to do whatever actions you'd want to do.
What is our heat at?
I think it's pretty high.
Yeah, I would definitely like to do some downtime actions to reduce our heat.
Yeah. What is your heat at? Let's see.
Are there any advantages to having a wanted level, or are they all bad?
As it goes up, badder and badder things happen.
Yeah, and we have 8 of 9 possible heat, so we're about to go into
the slammer.
To a wanted level if we don't do anything about it. So yeah, I was planning on dealing with heat as well.
Yeah, the wanted level automatically triggers incarceration. There is, like, I believe in the core blades, there is a move where you could take it and a cohort would go instead of you as a PC. but otherwise someone's going, and yeah, you just got to make the best of it.
I
So
spent way too long cultivating this crew of allegedly competent people who know how to run a drug business to have any of them leave.
right.
So,
You kept all your cash too, right? Your cred. 'Cause
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I was gonna say you don't need to be like, I try to do these things, but I'm so broke. We'll just say that by happenstance, VD had this money already as a business owner and all that kind of stuff. We'll say.
Bequeathed to her from the scientist.
Sure.
Plus,
Yeah,
everybody
Mashab.
remember we've got crew cred right now, so don't hesitate to spend from crew cred if you want to do something specific in downtime here.
Yeah. So yeah, what were you gonna do then? You were gonna do heat?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. And so what is it that you do to decrease the heat?
I I was thinking something to the tune of like inviting people to the tea house to talk to them about what happened, like whether that's local constabulary or
Oh,
other gangs or something, just to sort of like help with the pirate
especially
radio spin.
the pirate radio spin. I was thinking because you selected the upgrades to the layer, you could be like, come search our place even, right? Because they won't find shit now. You could
Yeah,
just be
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'd be like, just make sure I part these beats for you, I guess, right? Because otherwise you're gonna get fucked up. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, if they don't even know, like, they would have probably has suspected that you lived here, and now when they search it, they couldn't even like maybe there is those false rooms that you were in before the quarters, but now they're all hidden. So there's just like if they if for whatever reason they thought that you were living there now, they now think that you're either gone or whatever, right? That would make sense. And then VD can be weaving her words with them, right?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, dumb for thinking we're here.
How dare you accuse me, an old woman, of being anything more than a tea shop owner? I am offended.
Yeah. Have you tasted my tea?
The best tea in the roots.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So what action do you think that is for attempting to reduce heat?
I feel like I'm trying to sway people, like sort of be nice to them and yeah, have some tea on the house and we can talk about this and stuff. And look, there's nothing here.
There's
I don't know what you're on about.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, you can totally do that, and the rules still apply for reducing heat. So you could push yourself or devil's bargain. Easy devil's bargain is this is a temporary thing, right?
Yeah.
You reduce heat now mechanically, but later on, I'll try to like weave in an entanglement where they're just like surprise search or something, right?
That sounds kind of fun, whichever way that goes down. Yeah, I think I'll take that devil's bargain.
Cool. So you get an extra die, and is anybody helping?
I think Silver would be helping in whatever way she could here. I don't know. It depends on how VD would want to use Silver here. Like I could be being like hanging out with you and being friendly to these people, and they probably like don't suspect anything of you. I'm probably Silver is probably someone that they're like looking at askance. But if they see me being kind and like just friendly and everything during that interaction as well, it might help as well. They're like, oh, Silver's not as scary as we'd heard.
Yeah, you get that like, ha ha ha, like Silver wouldn't dare hurt a fly. Look at how nice and sweet she is.
Just as she says that, the fly comes past and Silver like, gets it with a knife. Like, what?
Maybe you got me like helping serve tea to them as they're coming in, and I'm like bringing tea out to them.
Nice.
Definitely.
So two bonus die, and that's the max.
And
got all the bonus.
What position am I in?
It's just a reduce heat, so it doesn't matter. It's kind of like a fortune.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's no negatives on these. Like it's
Downtime is safe.
And the effect is
Whatever, standard.
cool. Haha, nice.
Holy shit. Okay, so crit. So critical reduces it by 5, and you could spend 1 to do it even greater than that, I believe, because it's a downtime action. How many heat do you have?
With like 8, right?
8? Okay.
Totally do it. I like that this is VD's first like show of like manipulation and prowess. Just erase all the hate.
Well, I think it would reduce it to 7 because 6 is 3, critical is 5. So if we go beyond that, I think it would be another 2.
Yeah, I'll buy that.
So wait. So what are we? I just changed the thing. How much heat are we taking off?
7 heat minus, and if you spend an extra cred to increase the result effect even more. And apparently it's effective as fuck.
Do you want to spend the cred, or do we want to
Spend the cred?
Spend a cred for that?
Okay.
Okay. All right. So that's a total of 7 off, right? You said.
Yeah.
All right. So we're down to one heat. Nice.
That's insane.
People love me. What can I say?
Yeah, and that's the first time we see BD doing some shit, and it's probably real scary. She like mind fucks you good. Sweet. So yeah, this is you guys just giving them tea and allowing them to search around and being like transparent, that kind of stuff.
But strangely, it seems like it's perhaps strangely spooky and intimidating or something as well. There's some other reason they don't want to like look into it.
It doesn't have to be that. It could just be super effective, and they just are like, clearly this is VD's shop. And
it's like so believable. That's cool too.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be like, whoa, VD's scary. I just mean it's scary from the audience perspective because they're like, she's crafty AF, right? So yeah,
Get real scary though, so you better watch yourselves.
Yeah, they just don't know that until the door closes. It's like mastermind VD. And in a way, it's kind of the first time the crew sees you doing these things too, or at least Silver's there, right? Before that, the assumption was that we knew that you somehow put the crew together, but everyone hasn't maybe put that cohesively together, just the audience. And that you were like the cook, right? But now you're just like mind fucking them.
and with the fallout from the last score, I think it was a very like, as soon as Silver realized what's going on with VD, it was like a momentarily like just only a momentary like thinking and then like nodding like, yeah, okay, this is how we get into not being like people that just go out and F shit up. You know, we can actually do stuff that's going to be safer, that's going to make us some money. And I think Silver was on board like ASAP, was like, yes, you know, VD, help us.
Yeah. And so let's see. No. We'll do the person who comes by is a veteran sentinel, who you invited. Or actually, I'll let you choose. Is it Woot, the veteran sentinel, who's corrupt, compassionate, and cowardly, or Hain, district commander, fervent, lawful, discerning, that you invite and then do this thing too? And then that person can be on your radar. They won't be like a friend or anything, but it's somebody that we're aware of in the fiction and know.
It sounds fun to you guys.
Seeing as you rolled so well, maybe the dude that's all like upright and more high power just to game it.
Sure.
I like that.
The lawful and discerning guy, the one who's like, nothing can, maybe that's why it's so effective, right? Everyone's like, oh, if Hain believes you, then for sure it must be legit, right? So it's Hanne is the person, and you can have them on the radar. Do you have another downtime action in mind?
Oh yeah, but everyone else can go.
Oh, you want to just do one each?
Or I could do it now. I guess I was thinking like we haven't sold a lot of drugs, which is really irritating me. We've done a lot of killing, but not a lot of selling, which is why I hired these people. So I would kind of like to do some kind of project toward actually selling some shit.
Well, that could be the next score, though.
Oh yeah.
Is the next score could just be you guys, because that's one of the operations for your crew type, is trying to move the product, right? Make an illicit sale, execute a clandestine or covert sale.
In that case, could I carry on folks' project of creating, what is it, like drug MSG to like?
Oh yeah, the better affected, right? How far along were you on that, by the way?
I had 3 of 6, I think.
Oh, okay, sure. So you're gonna make the product tier +4, 2 + 3, because you have tier +2 right now. That's a lot.
And
okay.
I think that looks like VD just drops by folks' friend's house without like calling or anything, so they get a bit of a fright. But then yeah, VD sort of invites herself in with some tea and is like, let's have a chat about what you're working on. I think you could be useful to our cause.
Interesting. Cool. Okay. Yeah, let's do that then. So you need 3 ticks, which is 6. But how are you doing this then? It sounds kind of like you're controlling them or something.
Yeah.
Like, are you rolling them?
Yeah, I think I'm trying to get them to do all the work because I do not do leg work.
I don't do this work.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. What is that, you think? So, well, I could see controlling or consorting, right? Like, is this, I think a control would be like you're doing this as an intimidating way, and consorting is like you're just smooching with your friends and like rubbing shoulders and being like, I was told about this project and maybe we can work together, kind of thing. So it just kind of matters in what kind of slant you want to give the fiction with it.
It's totally a schmoozing slant. Like, this person has genuine like creativity and talent, so I'm not going to intimidate them.
Right.
You attract more flies with honey, after all.
Yeah. So do we like you like knock or whatever on this apartment complex building, right? And do you have like I imagine one of those takeout bags or whatever with some tea in it? That's
Yeah, totally.
like the shot. Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So why don't you consort? And same thing. It doesn't matter what your position and effect is. It just matters how much ticks you get, and you can push yourself devil's bargain, that kind of thing. I don't see a devil's bargain with this. Maybe somebody else did. No? So you can push
what about this person knows more about what they're actually creating, I guess. So like they're going to like skim some off the top or something without us knowing. Do you know what I mean? They're going to slightly fleece us.
Well, it's a recipe that you're developing, I think, right? Because it'll be something that from now on you'll incorporate into your product.
Yeah, either that or they pass on the like intellectual property, so we're not the only ones with the recipe or something. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Ooh, okay. How about this then? How about the devil's bargain will be another gang starts dealing inferior product of yours that looks exactly like yours because of this. Aaron in chat says, "Fuck no."
Take it.
That would lead to an eventual cool thing where it's like, okay, fuckers, like we've killed people before, and we'll kill again. But I think I'll push myself.
Okay.
Yeah. Instead. And I'm consorting, right?
Yeah, could sort of, yeah. You have 2 dice in it already, so not the worst. Chuckle.
And what position am I in? Is it like
Doesn't matter. It's another downtime
okay?
action.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Okay, so 3 segments. you're gaming it good. So yeah, 3 segments completes it, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So maybe now's the time when we decide what your actual product is, because we haven't really solidified it. We were thinking like it's something that you can put in tea and stuff like that, right? But do you guys know exactly what it is? You were thinking it was like a hallucinogen or something that people put in tea, something like that.
Do we want it to be something we put in tea, though? I mean, do we want it to have any possible way to trace back to the blue oolong? And I don't think, I don't know. I don't. Silver wouldn't be cool with that, but I don't know if you guys have other thoughts. I feel like it should be like totally divorced from our cover, if that makes sense.
Yeah. For some reason, I like the idea of. I just feel like when I go to the organic shop, and it's like I always check out all the essential oils, and they're like in those little tiny bottles with like droppers and stuff that you can put in things. So
Yeah.
maybe it's just like you can.
Well, remember too that it's like if you this is essentially going to be tier +3, right? Which is so it's something that those types of people will want. It'll be like a high class thing.
Yeah. What about some sort of scent, like like you touch it, it's making me think about that the gross woman in what's it, Altered Carbon, that has like the sexy pheromones.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's some sort of scent that's like has an effect on you, but maybe on others that like that smell it as well. Like that could be a cool thing.
Yeah. What were you thinking, Lauren? You were about to say something?
I don't know, pretty much weirdly enough, kind of that, except you can
Okay.
eat it. Because that's what I do when I bake all the time. I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I'll just put a drop of that in and a drop of bergamot. Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are thinking some kind of incense or oil, right? That the rich kind of use, but there's probably like a shittier version that you give out on the streets, right? Where it's like, the the Bath and Beyond version.
Maybe it's something tied to. So this is an environment, like a eco. We're trying to play up on this environmental theme, so maybe it has something to do with like it's like a vitamin D booster, right? Like it's like a ray of sunshine. It's like a cross between a sun jet. It's like a pleasant sun jet. It's like like a euphoria you get. Like maybe you're taken back to like that first moment where you like felt the sun or something like that. Like almost like a trippy flashback, maybe scent induced, right? But somehow ties in this environmental theme.
Okay. So the funny thing about this is I'm gonna link you guys to a picture because I was gonna have I had the artist make up a picture for the smuggler class, like your guys was one, the Wired crew, and he was like, "Well, what are they selling or whatever, right?" And I will show you what I came up with because this is kind of funny, I think.
Our theme song could be "Don't Steal My Sunshine."
And so is that your crew name, the Sunshine Crew?
What was the band that sang that song?
I don't know. Where's Smugglers? Ah. Okay, take a look at this. This is funny.
Nice.
Nice.
Like what the guy's selling. It's basically like because you're like maybe it's gold and bright like the sun, and I'm like interesting.
Yeah, I like that. It's an interesting step across from Blades too, where you know they have the like the super rich people have the light, like they're kind of like glass houses with like artificial light in them for growing stuff that's not fungus. Like it kind of makes me think of that. Like it's a nice takeover from that, like moving across from that too. Yeah, something about sunlight would be kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So-
dig it. I like Aaron's idea a ton about it being a like hallucinogen that triggers like enhanced memory of like, you know, feeling, you know, pleasant sunlight as opposed to damaging. I think that's very cool.
Yeah, what's the smell? What's the word for the smell of rain again? There's some awesome
Petrichor.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Petrichor. Yeah.
Petrichor.
yeah, that could be another like future drug to move into.
I love
it.
I like
That's a good name for a crew.
It's pretty cool.
I like Jesse's description of that, and I think one of the side effects maybe of this drug, if we go down this path, is that the vision, that feeling of the sun being pleasant instead of painful can be like too engrossing and can trick you to actually step out into the sun and
Yeah,
damaged in some
I
way.
love that.
it's
I
very
love that.
good.
Yes.
That's
Very
amazing.
good. And so, what do you name this drug then?
Ooh, we could go super on the nose and just call it sunshine, or it could be like a ray of something. It could be, I don't know. Any other ideas?
Forgotten rays.
Ooh, dig that.
We'll think about it.
Mm.
Sure. Okay. So, how does this amplify it, VD? What brings it from 2 to 3 with this MSG thing?
Oh man.
Is it? I keep like inserting myself into your stuff because it's cool, but you tell me. I have an idea, but I want you to tell me.
Oh geez. All I can think of is like perhaps it evokes other like sunshine day kinds of things. Like perhaps you even get a vision of like this beautiful like dappled tree sunlight feeling where it's a nice blue sky day and there's like lorikeets or whatever like serenading you in the background kind of thing. So it just sort of like it takes that feeling and like sort of enhances it to like a other senses you have perhaps.
Yeah.
So what was your idea?
My idea was to maybe it goes from one sense to multiple senses, like
Great,
especially because of the MSG thing, right? I was like, oh, like instead of tasting another thing, instead of it just being like I feel the simulated senses of the sun, then you can also like smell, you know, foliage or whatever, that kind of stuff. So similar thing.
Awesome.
Cool. So yeah, you guys can remember you still need a crew name and you still need to name the drug. And do other people have downtime stuff they want to do?
Can you train playbook advances, or can you only train
I think you can actually. Let me check.
I've never seen it, I know, but I don't know. Can you?
Yeah, so when you spend time in training, mark 1 XP on the XP track for an attribute or playbook.
Oh, nice.
Ah, cool. I've got a quick thing to do that's just all training and character, like a bit of character building. So I think we see Fleur moving around the shop and stuff, and probably doing some time like behind the counter, and you know, Beatty getting her to do some odd jobs and stuff, and then maybe slowly getting a little bit like being shown like the quarters and like parts of the like place that, you know, weren't that visible on the surface, and I guess meeting the other guys. But then I like to I'm picturing her kind of we see a scene of her like kind of up on the rooftop somewhere else in the district, and she's got this long bag with her, and she kind of opens it up, and it's I think it's actually this is more stealing shit from Altered Carbon. I think it's like a pink. She's got this really long pink bag with like bunnies and like cute shit on it. Then she opens it up, and there's like she just suddenly starts putting together this like massive rifle, like a sniper rifle. And I think actually I had the idea maybe that the industry that her parents are involved in is they're arms dealers. Essentially, that's their trade. There's some sort of weapons involved in the manufacture or dealing of weapons in some way. Does that fit in the?
Did they did they create and manufacture sunjets?
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, totally. That's what they do.
You're in an adjacent industry now.
Yeah.
Sun drugs,
Yeah.
sun drugs.
Yeah. So I think maybe how she got into trouble was probably operating these weapons and doing things with them when she wasn't meant to. So I think like after that moment, we just probably see a little montage of her like being like awesome with this like sniper rifle. And I guess I'm like I don't really guess I don't have to say which thing I'm training, but I'm working on the sharpshooter skill thing.
Yeah, makes sense.
And I'll use both of my my things for that. Yeah.
Okay.
And then over to everyone else.
You can train a given XP track only once per downtime, though.
Oh, can I?
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, I'll train. Maybe I think maybe she meets with Bergen when or BD sends her to help Bergen out with the whole pirate radio thing. Or maybe even she just takes him some like tea, and he's super excited about this, like, you know, that infectious enthusiasm that people have that draws you into their things that you're not necessarily interested in sometimes. I think he has that kind of enthusiasm, so she ends up kind of sitting down and like helping him out with doing that stuff. So I'll just train a little bit of I guess that's insight. Yeah. That seems cool. And I'm done.
Who wants to go next?
I think I'm ready.
Okay.
So I'm going to do two things. One, I need to recover from my broken jaw.
Right. So we haven't seen this in the game yet either. So recharges cost 1 cred at the moment. It might be 2 in the future. And it's the same thing as in Blades where it hits your recovery, but the previous version of Blades where as soon as you take it, it heals 1 of your harm. And it basically what it does is it's like an injection that increases the efficiency of your nanites for a little bit of time. And then they're the things that repair you, not people. Okay.
Yeah.
So how much harm do you have again? Just 1 level 1?
I have 2 level 1s and a level 2.
Oh, dang. Okay. So you can clear the level 1 harm, 1 of them, and then you can roll to see how fast you can spend another recover action, just like in Blades, to basically hit them again if you want.
I should do that, but I'm not going to because.
Okay. Well, you remember you can spend a cred to do this as well.
Well, I don't have any cred, right? I mean, I know that
you can take one from the crew if you want. We've got a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah,
do we want to just let's see? Let me look at the crew cred real quick because we've got.
Didn't everybody just get 3 as well from the last episode?
When did we get? I thought we only got stash. I don't know what we.
You got, remember in terms of cred, we're abstracting it to the guns that were taken?
Yeah, I think we just added it. I thought we just added that to the crew sheet until we decided to divide it up.
Oh,
So what
okay.
we've got in there right now is just we've got 8, 9. We've got 9 cred in the crew sheet currently. So we need to divide some of that up if we want. We could just each take 1 right now or 2. What do we want to do?
You guys should just divide it and leave Fleur totally broke because she wasn't around for any of it.
What do you guys want to do then? Do we want to do that, or do we want to? How do we want to divide this up? We've got 9 cred.
So in fiction, I think so. Here's the second part of what I want to do, is because it ties in here. So I took a trauma last time with this obsession that Bergen is now obsessed with this sample that they picked up, and so I think that obsession is going to lead to them like. I don't know if this is going to be acquire an asset or a long-term project, and that's something we can sort out. But definitely going to like try to get some of these creds so that they can like, so that they can start spending, so that they can start producing or researching whatever this thing is. So I think that fictionally, if we want to, whether or not we want to split up all the money across everybody, I think Bergen's going to ask for some money.
Sure.
Yeah, I say we split it all up right now, and I don't know if I mean, I know fictionally it makes sense that Fleur wasn't there for it, but that doesn't seem very fair. Like, I mean, Lou, what?
Oh, I don't care. I like that. Why would she have money? You guys should just take. Like,
all right. Do we want to? Okay, then let's just have the other 3 of us take 3 cred each, and I'll delete it from the crew sheet.
Or how about VD takes the extra? VD takes Haboob's bit. Never mind.
That makes sense.
Take it back.
Yeah, however you guys want to do it. I think that, like, I would say, like, we don't have to say what happened to Haboob's money, because we can just suppose that VD has that exact amount of money from previous stuff going on that we are unaware of, right?
Sure.
And then if you want to explain Fleur having money, it's the same thing. She comes from a rich family, and she might just have that money, right? It doesn't have to be like, how did the guns turn into money, and how did the money? Don't worry about that. That's boring.
So then I just spend 1 coin or 1 cred, and I remove my level 2 harm. How does that work?
No, so then it triggers the nanites working on you.
Okay.
And so what you do is, for every cred that you spend, you roll 1 die as your, like, essentially your physical roll. So if you spend 2 cred, then you get 2 dies towards it, 3 die, 4 die, etc. So you could just spend 1 extra cred, roll it, and you're doing your full-time project or long-term project healing clock thing, same as in Blades.
Okay.
So healing clock 1 to 3 is 1 segment, 4 to 5 is 2 segments, 6 is 3 segments, critical is 5 segments.
Sorry, I didn't follow that.
So, okay, so if you roll a 1 to 3 on 1 die, it heals 1 segment. If you roll a 4 to 5, 2 segments, 6 is 3 segments, and critical is 5 segments. And you can spend 1 cred for every die, and each die will be a result of that.
Oh, I see.
So do you get that it set up a clock for your injury that you've got that's what you're working on?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, cool.
On your sheet, you should see a healing clock.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
And I have a question then. When you do that for clock for like a level 2 harm, does that just drop it down to level 1? Is that how that works? Or is it?
Yeah, it just
so
keeps
level
depleting.
1, yeah, if you fill up a 4 clock for a level 1 harm, it takes it away. And if you fill up a clock for any of the other higher level harms, it just drops it down 1 level. So you're just continually dropping it down a level per clock.
Totally, yeah.
Okay. Then I'm going to spend 2 cred to roll 2 die to tick off boxes on the healing clock.
Cool. And you already got rid of your first one, right?
Yes.
Cool.
Actually, I took off the wrong one.
Okay. Yeah. So you'll have 2 results. It's better than blades because you're only getting 1 result with blades. This one, it's a little bit more swingy, but you're getting a result of 2 dice instead of taking the highest. Does that make sense? Yeah.
That's a 4 and a 2.
Cool. 4 is 2 segments, and 2 is 1 segment, so 3 segments.
Okay.
And remember, if you want, I haven't really played with this yet in it, but technically on downtime actions, you can always spend cred to increase the result of either of those if you wanted to. Which means that your it doesn't really help with healing clocks that much, but because you're essentially just spending a cred per clock now, or quarter phase. The only big thing is going from a 6 3 segments to a critical 5, right? Then you're actually saving cred on it.
Right. All right. I think that's what I'll do there.
Yeah.
And then
you had 2 level, or you had a second level and you cleared one of them, and then you just got rid of another one, right?
So I had 2 level 1 harms and 1 level 2 harm.
Yeah, and then when you triggered your healing, you cleared the second level, right? Because it would move down.
Oh, okay.
And then you just cleared another level.
But I only got 3 ticks on the clock.
Oh, okay. So you're 1 away.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I thought you had 4, but you're right. It's 2 and 1.
And then the other part of the downtime is just whatever this obsession comes out to. So I don't know if this is acquire an asset or if this is a long-term project.
Okay.
But I think this obsession with this residue or whatever, I want to enact that in some way, shape, or form. The arm juice.
I don't think it's arm juice. I hope it's not. Please don't be arm juice. Okay, so what are you enacting exactly?
So I think of it as so what I was trying to describe last was it Friday was that Bergen, I can't decide whether this is obsession or paranoia. Like, this machine isn't supposed to do this thing. It has some residue. And if it has some residue, then that means in his mind that that the human body has now been infected with something or is corrupted in some way, shape, or form. And if it's paranoia, then it's like a vision that whoever's in charge, like, they're doing this to us. It's like Soylent Green as people kind of thing.
Right.
Or if it's just obsession, it's nothing, but he still thinks it is. And so he's going to continue to do this like research on this material until he dies or the trauma clears or however. Whichever
until he dies. Okay, well, so what is the mechanical benefit you want out of the long-term project, though? Because you can still get benefits of it, before you die or whatever.
Yeah.
You'll just continually be working on the project, right? But what's the first step, do you think?
I think the first step would be, that's a good question, and I don't know. So come back to me. I'll think about it.
Well, so the thing that you're working on is that those particulates that you sucked up from the person, right?
Right.
They got kind of mashed together by acts of God. It could be like a way to hack storms that you're working on or something.
I was thinking of it the other way, like the way of hacking the body. So some of the Torque's other skills are
cybernetics stuff.
Cybernetics, and there's another one about you can modify the human body in order to treat wounds or stabilize dying.
Right.
But there aren't really progress clocks towards those kinds of advancements, so I don't know how that would structurally work.
Yeah, interesting. It could be just a training. Do you want to abstract it like that? You're training towards that playbook advance?
I think that works.
Okay. Yeah. And then, yeah, I think fictionally that works. And then when you get beyond that, then maybe that will be the long-term project.
Right.
Which will probably happen because then you'll have access to crafting and inventing stuff, and those are long-term projects already.
Okay.
So you'll just naturally segue into that, I think.
Great.
So
So
sweet.
do I have to roll for training, or is that just a thing?
Just a thing. You just put a dot in your playbook.
Cool.
And then also, did you want to spend the 1 extra cred to bump up your success to make it a 4 o'clock to be fully healed?
Yeah, why not? You only
Yeah.
live once.
Okay, sure.
No.
Good, excellent. Be poor, ma. Just kidding. Cool. So, and for the training, we just see you analyzing the stuff in your lab in the workshop, I guess.
Yeah, with Fleur helping me out.
With who? Fleur?
Fleur helping me out, and I'm training her, indoctrinating her in my obsession.
Yeah. And your jaw's totally like you can't open your mouth properly because your jaw's still. You're like.
Like Beaker from the Muppet Babies.
Sure. Okay, so Silver, what about your downtime?
Yeah, I need to clear some stress. So first thing I'm going to do is that. I think it's similar deal as before fictionally of probably, I go to my dealer, get this little like silvery disc thing, rent a room somewhere really quietly, and then it's like I actually added a picture of it though. For those of you that haven't played the game that I was referencing for the thing, so it's in my bio section, I have a link to a picture of what this thing looks like. Little silvery disc, push a button on it, and then like a biological, like an actual plant type, like vine with a flower on the end of it kind of pops out, and then the flower kind of like splays on your face, and it's like a hallucinogenic, like hypnotic sedative. So it knocks you out, and you go for a trip.
Yeah.
Let's see, I'll roll for that and see what happens.
It's a good game.
Yeah. Let's see. Rolling vice.
Yeah, there should just be a button for that on the sheet.
Yep. Got it. All right. Got a 4, which.
Do you want to bump it up?
Let me double check. All right. So how does that work? If I so for indulging vice. Dice. So that clears me 4 stress by rolling a 4, right? It's just the number that you roll on the die.
Yeah, but if you bump it up, then you can choose a 5 or a 6, which is nice. Or no, it would be a 6. Sorry, if you were a 3, then it could be a 4 or a 5, and then if you're now, it would be a 6.
I'll do that. Yeah. So I spend 1 cred for that.
Yes.
All right. So that clears me completely of stress right now. And then I actually have a question before I can do my second thing. So I know you've been like tweaking the like friends and enemy sections on the playbooks, and so I know that might have changed a bit. I know you were Fatma was originally like a corp exec that had been in charge of whatever corp that that Silver had been involved with as a tipper, and doing corporate espionage and that kind of work for them. I'm just not sure what with them being a corp informant, what does that mean at this point?
For years, we can keep it the same as before. It doesn't have to change.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah, then, plus it's part of your background and stuff, so let's not change it now.
Okay. Then I had a long-term clock going on Fatma to be able, like, I was basically using, what was I doing? It was, oh, come on, I had it right here. I was using Trace, and I was basically following this person around using tech and everything to figure out this person's routine, their weaknesses, their secrets, to be able to get some kind of leverage on them, or potentially, help in an engagement role with them at some point.
Right. Yeah, you're biding your time. Last time we saw you with your friend, and you were tailing them and made So pretty substantial progress, I think. Right?
Yeah, I think I ticked 3 of 6 sections of that clock, so I'd like to do that again as well.
Do
so
it.
try and work on that project again. So I'm gonna roll hunt, and I'm gonna use my that contact, that spook that I was using last time, if that's cool.
Sure.
Add
Yeah.
a die.
So last time we saw them going to like a bar or something, was it?
Yeah, it was a bar. They were let me see. I had it written down here. It was a
Maybe.
club in Bastion. You said the oh, shoot. I'm trying to read my handwriting here. Yeah, they were. It was some kind of club in Bastion that was kind of an. We didn't really decide what it was. It was some type of odd vice purveyor that, like, knowing they go there would have been
Yeah.
incriminating in some way, and I don't think we fictionally figured that out what that was, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I think we coupled it with your vice roll before, didn't we?
Did we?
Like
How did that work?
I thought that. Oh, maybe I'm wrong.
I don't recall. Yeah.
I was thinking. I don't know if anybody else remembers, but I kind of have this recollection that maybe it was the same place that you were getting your hits from.
I think you're right. Yeah.
And then at the same time, you were spying on them, and they were like also partaking in this thing, right? And then we had cut to like them going into that same place so that we could keep it centralized, maybe.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I think it was.
I think
so. With the same dealer or something like that. I saw them as I was coming out or going in or something like that. Yeah.
Because I remember you being kind of like nefarious about it a little bit and being like, "Oh, it's the same place I go to. I have access to this asshole now." That kind of stuff.
Yep. Right. That makes sense. Yeah.
Cool. So same thing. You're tailing them doing the same thing.
I think here's what is what it's going to be is I am going to, because this is as I've established it, the drug is a hallucinogen and a sedative hypnotic, so it knocks you out and you go for a trip, right? What I imagine this time is that I'm going to follow him until he goes there to indulge his vice and like rifle through his stuff, like sneak into the room that he is, has secured himself away in while he goes on this trip, and like rifle through his stuff, looking through, personal documents, papers, anything like that I can find, any digital material that I can go for.
Okay, so you're more interested in getting some leverage over him?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, at this point, yeah.
Cool. Okay, yeah. So first roll was access, this one is leverage.
Yes.
Cool. So are you do you know what action you're trying to do with this?
Yeah, I'm going to do that with Prowl, since I'm going to be sneaking in and kind of like spying on them in that way, if that makes sense.
Yep. Go ghost them hard.
Oh yeah, sorry, ghost. I apologize. With the roll 20 sheet.
It's okay. When I've solidified the actions, then I'll hack that sheet to put those in.
Yeah. Makes sense. Okay. So let's see. Can I use my that contact I used last time, the ex spook, to kind of help me get into this place and just kind of aid in the sneaking and everything?
Well, before he had you kind of like under the cover of watching him. Now you're in there with him.
Sure.
So
okay, so probably not.
What would he be doing? I'm open to it, but what would he be doing in the fiction?
I think it would be more of like, as like fictionally speaking, as more of like a lookout, helping. Like I'm going in. I'm not keeping an eye outside to make sure that no one is coming in here. No one's going to witness what's happening. So just trying to keep it completely on the down low.
It's like a mini op with him.
Yes.
Cool.
Bingo.
Okay. Sure.
Is that cool?
Yeah. Totally.
All right. So let's see. Submitting that. I got a 4.
4 gets you 2 segments.
Cool. I'll take that. That works for me.
Cool. And that's everybody?
I took Fixer.
You took what?
Fixer. Which is just someone can have an extra downtime action.
Oh, nice. Well then. Way to be meta. Yeah, due to careful planning during downtime, you may give yourself or another crew member +1 downtime action.
For some reason, that works heaps thematically with the whole tea shop thing too, that you can work around and plan from that base. So that's cool.
Yeah, so you could, if someone has something specific they want to do you?
If not, I was just gonna train some resolve
Oh, okay, because I was gonna say it's also a thing that you could cash in to do a safe. Oh no, gather information is always safe now. I keep going back to 1.5 where I'm like, you're never safe when you gather. Never mind. So yeah, you can, if someone has something, you could train or whatever. You're gonna train resolve, so it's double?
Yeah.
Okay. What does that look like?
Um, I like even if like you want to wrap it up into she's just like super effective about everything. Perhaps she invites Hayne to like play some kind of poker game or something, or like some kind of game of deceit where she can just like
Mahjong.
practice. Yeah, like
Okay. Cool.
so she's having tea with Hayne and practicing her deception skills.
Okay. I think in the future you could even start a long-term project to sway this person over to be your friend even.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. That would be a
That would
thing.
be that would be good.
Playbook advancement, but hadn't spent them.
Yeah, it's not a game with me if there's
Oh,
I'll make
cool.
it out.
So Aaron, you have Street Dog now? Cool. Okay, so in the fiction it's not just studying, it's like you oh, but do you want to spend the cred then? Because you would have the fictional positioning to work on yourself then, wouldn't you?
I
Let's
guess.
see. Let's look at your torque. You took Street Dog. You can modify the human body. Street. Yeah. So you could do the same thing. You could roll modify and treat your own wounds for the nanites, right? Like you're kind of like screwing with your own nanites to put them into overdrive and fix you even faster. So why don't you roll that and we'll count that towards your clock, and then you might not have to spend anything to get it. Well, you definitely won't, because even a fail gives you one clock, right?
Okay.
But oh wait, but it's also an extra action during downtime, so it would be it anyway. So let's see. If you had gamed it, though, you could have rolled it instead of. You could have done that first and then not have to spend cred to do the second one.
It's okay.
Okay.
I'm not worried about that. I just didn't want you to think that I was like cheating the game later when I was like, but I have Street Doc now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, and it's actually take one cred back because it's everyone gets +1d to their healing treatment roll anyway. So you would have definitely hit the thing anyway. So everyone remember that +1d when healing, because you got them good nanites. Okay, cool. So do you guys know what you want to do next? It sounds like maybe selling stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it makes sense for someone like Silver would definitely be interested in doing it. I don't know if anyone want to help doing a gather information role for a like a high-end buyer, like high-end buyers.
Yeah.
And what's that other stuff that we've got that we haven't turned into actual product yet? Is that something we need to work out how to do?
You have the product. You just need to sell it, I believe.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Let's see. Because you've got sale, supply. You have the supply. Yeah, so you just need to do the sale.
Yeah.
So you're gonna gather information. Is anybody helping or anything?
Do you reckon we could make like a very small amount of time pass, like in the fiction, even just a couple of weeks or something, just because I want to I don't necessarily want to play through like Fleur, like becoming
A part of the group and stuff?
yeah, well, just like having to like have it explained to her that they're all criminals and shit. I just like it would be more fun for me if I could just, like she's still new, but she's like she's able to actually like go and help gather information and do that kind of stuff. Like she'll still be new to it, but it would be kind of funny if she didn't need to be personally introduced to it all.
Oh, I think we get like that montage scene of VD introducing her to the underworld, right?
I think so, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's fine with me. Especially since it works well because of so many. It's abstracted. You pay more cred for downtime actions because you're like sitting on your hands. Basically, is what I've always seen it as. Like you're taking up more time in the fiction between jobs, and so it's eating away at your stockpile of cash and stuff like that. So even just the fact that we've spent extra downtime actions means that time will have passed more than normal anyway. So I'm down with that. Yeah. Do you break it to Fleur over Mahjong with some tea?
Yeah,
so
totally.
we're all criminals.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Fleur's like, "You're kidding," and she's like cleaning her rifle. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, she stops going or like trying to hide her sniper rifle and like oh, that makes things easier.
Meaning totally like you're wasted on the path you're taking in your life. Like you're better off here at the tea shop where you can take over this family business. Will God forbid the day that I pass on.
Yeah, like actually,
ways.
yeah, shares that she manipulated into actually getting her here, so her skills could be more useful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so who is helping with the gather information then?
First, I have a question for the group, I guess. Like, how are we? So we're looking for a buyer, like buyers. Are we looking for buyers? Like, are we looking to deal it to individuals, or are we looking to sell the batch of it like to a bigger dealer who can distribute it elsewhere? Like, how do we want to approach that, or another idea?
Yeah, I like the idea of like finding like some like richer like socialite that will like be our face kind of thing for the like to deal to those people. Like, yeah.
So we're more like wholesalers than anything.
All right. So I was thinking that this would be, well, we can play it both ways, actually. We can do, if we do this like grassroots style, like this is a new product, right? Nobody knows what it is. So you need to get people in first. So Bergen's parents, Bergen's family are like, they're rubbing elbows up at that level, right? Like they still want to be up. That's my vice, is like indulging their luxury. So maybe they're the into that world, and maybe starts as as connected. And at some point in the future, maybe they become sort of maybe they become the wholesalers to that next tier.
Yeah, can we totally go? I'm just thinking maybe the score could be they have a party and could we go to the party at their house and try like give out free samples and shit.
I could see it as two things. I could see you as abstracting this as an acquiring an asset for which you do your selling, and that would be easy. Or it could be like an actual plan that you're doing, and we'll centralize the fiction on that, whatever you think is interesting.
I guess with all the ideas floated, I'm not really sure where we're going with it at this point. I'm cool with whatever you guys think here, but I don't know.
Do you want, basically the question is, if you're going with Bergen's parents as your people that are going to be wholesalers, do you want that to be a job, like smoothing them to be the connection, and that is in effect, if you do the free samples at this party and stuff, that is you making the selling connection? Or are you just doing a downtime action acquiring the asset, and the asset is Bergen's parents that will wholesale it, and then you do a job that is selling it?
I would think that we already have my parents. Like this is a way of.
Well,
no.
Are they your friends, or?
No, I guess not. You want to get technical about it.
Yeah, like you just have somebody. Well,
You
maybe
asked me, the backstory does say that Bergen's kind of supporting their lifestyle too, though, so that would suggest that they would want to be involved in it and just perhaps somewhat indebted to Bergen as well. Like
okay.
it's there in the fiction, kind of.
Okay. Well, are people planning a score? That's what I'm asking, basically. Do you want to set up a score in which you're selling the product?
So I'm sorry. I think now I'm back where Jesse was at a moment ago. So are we trying to acquire money here? We're trying to sell the product, or are we trying to acquire somebody to sell the product?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Let's just sell the product. We can cut out the middleman. There's so much interesting stuff to do in this world that we've created. Let's just sell the product and move on.
Okay. Yeah. So then why don't I and anybody who wants to help, like, why don't we do a gather information roll to try and find high-end buyers or buyer for what we've got? Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah.
Sure. And if
Does
you
that sound like
want,
where we want to go?
if you want to use you can always use you can put into the fiction if you want Birkin's parents or the people that put you into contact with them or whatever. But
That's
the
cool.
gather
Yeah, I dig that.
information role will be the thing that dictates, what information you get.
That makes sense. Yeah, that sounds good to me. Anybody else? Yeah.
Sounds good. And I would love to help because
Okay.
this is kind of my jam.
So I'm imagining the gather information role as being more like schmoozing and like talking to people we know and asking them who they know and like kind of trying to work our way up. So I'm imagining it more as of like a like, what is it, consort? Yeah, consort role.
Probably.
Here to try and just kind of schmooze our way to the right people, if that makes sense. So we can do a group action as a for a gather information, can't we?
I believe so.
I'm not 100% sure on that.
Let me just double check. Gather information. A simple fortune roll determines the quality of the information. Each attempt takes time. Try again. Yeah, so it says sometimes you can maneuver yourself into a position where you can gather information, and that would be like a prowl study. Otherwise, it's usually surveying or studying to get the actual information. It doesn't say. Let's see. Fortune roll plus 1d for a trait, plus 1 for a major advantage. Doesn't think. Doesn't really say if people can do it in a group action, but it should be fine. I could imagine everybody helping gather information. So yeah, we'll just say yes. If not, then we'll just homebrew it. So everybody is smooching at this party or something.
Is that what we want to do for the gather information? Do we want to all work together on this?
I could see it as like a montage of Ocean's 11 where everybody is working specific things, but towards the same goal, right?
Yeah, I totally want to, if we don't get to have a score, like a social score at a party, I at least want to get to imagine us all going to a party.
Well, you could always set it up that the selling thing takes place at a party to satiate Lou there on that or something. But yeah, he's super into that. But yeah, it could totally just be like the montage of each of you hitting up your contacts to like get some information, which then turns into the score or whatever.
I dig that. Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody's gathering information.
Okay. I can lead, or if someone else wants to lead, they can, but whatever works. Yeah, okay. So all right, so then I'm gonna roll consort then. Everybody else is doing that too.
Yeah. Can sort it up. Ooh, Birkin's good at consorting.
Cool. So we got our 6. That's awesome.
Yep. And no one stresses you out.
Did
Oh, someone stresses you out. That's funny.
All right. So I take one stress there.
Yeah. And so, yeah, what do you guys see it as, all of you working a party or everyone hitting up contacts in a montage thing? What are you guys going for?
I'm cool with starting out with us being the we're montage of us just working on our contacts, and then whatever the result of that is will lead us to whatever we're going for here.
Didn't Lauren already roll? Oh, I guess not.
I think that's my prior consort role, because all I'm doing is consorting and swaying people with this character, I guess.
Does consorting like heck, but yeah, you got a 5 anyway, so you don't stress anyone out. Cool. And so you're trying to hit up somebody. So you're going for your tier. Let's see the good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Tier +2, and then it's +3 because the MSG, right? So, and your tier 0, so you're looking for your highest contacts will be tier 3. Manufactured light, porters, sentinels. That would be interesting. Cryptographers. Is there a specific thing that you guys want to see in the fiction? Manufactured light are the kind of like, it's an institution that creates the screen, the drug. So I could see them as being like, oh, and now we have a new drug to disseminate, right? Because they're already in complete control of screen. Porters are the people that, porters would be neat as well, because porters are the ones that go out in the ocean on heavy lift ships, on those Caterpillar drives, heavy lift ships that harpoon icebergs and bring them back. So if they're like cramped on ships and freaking out and stuff, I could see them really wanting this drug where it makes them feel like they're at home and like in a natural place with sun on them, and they're not like burning to death or whatever, right?
Yeah, they'd pay a lot for that.
Yeah, they already pay a lot to use screen every day, right? On their trips. Otherwise, they would get wrecked by the sun.
I like that one. I think the porters is cool. What do you guys think?
And
they're called the porters. Is that what they are?
Yeah, porters, like PORTERS, like the people that move people around in the hospitals.
Cool.
That also excites me, because there's the potential, if they're getting messed with in some way, for us to end up on one of those things, like the crawler somewhere on a weird outside the shelter mission.
If they're getting messed with?
I don't know, like if our supply or something is happening with those people in the future. I don't know. I'm just thinking of, I just want to play Sunless Sea on a crawler in the middle of
okay. Well, let's see. Well, you got a 6, so you got really good information. The leader of the porters, well, as much as they had one, think of it as like a union rep or something, right? His name is Jedrick, Jedrik, and he actually is also the same person who pioneered porting icebergs. They're a leader. They're proud. They're civil, and they're savvy. So it'd be, I think, definitely somebody who's like pliable. And so you want to get them into a social situation like a party or whatever, right? So I'm thinking, what if we work in the same thing with J5, maybe the parents get you an invitation to a fundraiser, because we'll go the wire thing, right? With the season 2, I think it is, right? With those guys working the docks. One of the main characters is the union leader, and we see him in the show even having to go to these stupid fundraisers and pay off people and all that kind of stuff. So maybe J5's parents get you a ticket to go to one of these fundraisers, and then you can try to smooth them there. The only thing I could see being a hiccup for this is that you would definitely need to get maybe. Here's a question for Aaron. Do you think the invitations comes with like a one-time thing that allow your nanites or whatever to pass through the district for that one time? Like, is it like Cinderella at midnight, your time is up or something, or what?
Yeah, maybe keeping with the theme of scent, like that there's a scent that's sort of embedded in the card that if you like swipe it across your body, like you just sort of like wipe it across, that it changes changes some tone that your nanites put out that sort of allows you in, but it wears off over the course of the evening.
Okay, cool. I like that. Everybody's lifestyle is pretty low. So, do people want to acquire assets to not have really bad clothing? And Lou wants it to be a ball. That's totally fine.
Yeah, I definitely am going to try and acquire, something more appropriate for the venue and event.
And I think the only one that wouldn't really need to is the mastermind, who has a cover identity. Although the haunt has a disguise kit as well. So I think that might be covered.
I'm trying to think. I don't know how this would play mechanically. One of the things that we've tied Bergen's story to is that he enters into this high society with his parents, right? Like he's a former child star. I don't know how, I don't have like fancy clothes listed on my inventory, but it seems like something that I would have. I don't know if can write that in as like specialized gear or I don't know, but.
Yeah, I think that's fine then. Maybe, ooh, I know. Maybe while you're visiting your parents one time or something like that, you nab extra clothing from like the guest rooms or something for people that need it.
Sure.
Yeah, I was thinking potentially it could be that sort of wardrobe like sort of thing. If you've got contacts that are still involved in making that stuff, you could potentially get access to like stage, like theater, like stage sort of stuff.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see what a search on Pinterest comes up for cyberpunk fancy ballroom. Not what I want.
I searched for cyberpunk formal wear.
How did that go? Yeah, this isn't really helpful. Maybe just sci-fi instead. What kind of a ball do you think it would be? Nice. I put in ballroom, and it's just like a sci-fi giant orb of cackling energy and shit in it. Yeah, okay. Clearly this one.
I guess you suggested it's some sort of fundraising.
Yeah, maybe they have to get another ship repaired or something like that. Hey, like maybe it was cracked or something, or
or maybe there's the. It sounds like it's a pretty dangerous sort of a job to go and do that. Is it?
To do the porting?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. It's one of the basically the way it works in the city is that there's some unrest with the porters right now because they do this very important work to like 90% of the drinking water comes through them, the icebergs. There's water farmers outside and all that kind of stuff, but they're the ones that harpoon these big things, bring them back. And they're only tier 3 in the city, which means like they don't have that much power, and they're doing very dangerous work under very bad, like,
their equipment isn't that amazing.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like the widows and orphans like fund, like fundraising pool or something, like.
Right. Yeah, like for people that are killed or whatever on the job, they don't even have enough money to cover the living expenses for family members and stuff like that. That's sad, yeah. For sure. There we go. That's pretty cool. Let's lean into this. Is pretty cool. I'm picturing it just like the same fancy ballrooms that you would see with like the high arching crown molding ceilings and all the fancy finery and all that kind of stuff, versus, remember, the aesthetic of your place is like the first Blade Runner on the street, right? With like crowded vendors, tight packed quarters, tons of people on the street, overcrowding, tons of refugees everywhere, probably like dirt and grime, stuff like that, right? And this place is all like, we're recreating the Victorian past. Yay, we're rich people, which is I think, well, we'll see how the engagement role goes, but that's definitely, I think, how you'll be able to grab Yedrick out of the crowd, right? Like, he's also one of you people, like a climate refugee who's risen in ranks and just there to schmooze to get some money to pay out people for this money, right? But yeah, so what is your plan of attack? It sounds like social, but if I'm open to other things. For your score.
I'm heaped into the social thing. Also, my character doesn't have like one like single dot in any of that.
Yeah. Well, but you're also the person who's like the disguised hacker person, right? Oh no, you're the lens. Yeah, never mind. Oops. Yeah. For some reason I thought you took the feint at first, and I was like, you're fine. What are you talking about? But yeah, no, never mind. Okay. So if you're doing a social thing, the connection, we already have the connection. It's J5's parents, right? And you've got good information on that. And you got a 6. So yeah, I think the 6 will be the justification for getting the proper attire from your connection, and the access, which we'll say is just like that evening till midnight or whatever, right? Till like an hour after it closes or something dickish like that, where it's like you can get on the monorail right after it leaves, and then, if you don't, bad times. And let's do the engagement roll real quick then, and then that'll be the cliffhanger thing that we end on. So let me go to that. What, is someone about to say something? Lou?
I was just gonna say maybe it seems like maybe Aaron should roll it just because it's, I don't know.
Sure.
The engagement part of it seems like his character's responsibility if it all goes wrong.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Okay, so start out with 1d for sheer luck, and then we'll go, is this operation particularly bold or daring? What do you think?
Maybe going so far outside of our like socioeconomic, thing, maybe that makes it daring.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Is it overly complex? No, I don't think so. You just want to schmooze the guy into dealing your stuff, right? And part of, I think, the schmoozing is like, this will be good for overall morale on the ships and stuff like that. So it's not like you're being dicks about it either. At least not yet.
Yeah, I mean, the drug's essentially almost completely untested in terms of side effects and how addictive it is, although it's high quality. So maybe that means that
you're giving him
not
quote
too
unquote
crazy.
the good stuff, right?
Really good stuff, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Does the plan's detail expose a vulnerability or hit them where they're weakest? I think, based on what we know of Yedrick and his responsibility to his men, yeah, like you're like, hey, you know how people hate going out there. This will help a lot. Is the target strongest against this approach? Definitely not. He's just like a climate refugee guy who has to be here just like you guys.
And is part of the attraction to him, I guess, that he's potentially able to side sell like this, like it's money essentially for him too, right? Like he's earning something from it as well, right? So I guess that's another attraction besides the usefulness of the drug for his, like, or are we just directly selling it to him as something to use? That's
Yeah, I think you're selling it directly to him, and he'll disseminate it to his guys directly. Right?
Yeah, and maybe it's I guess maybe then it's him seeing it as a preventative measure for shit going wrong on the ship too. That's the interest for him.
And so, can any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight into this operation?
I've got my go-between friend. That's the only one that I can think of that could potentially be of any use.
Aid or insight. How would they help you?
I think if we're in the actual engagement.
Yeah. You're already able to get in.
What about our like crew friend that Flicker Tiago could dig up more information on the particular target, since we're going after this specific person, could like do some PI work to say, okay, here's how you approach this person, here's their temperament, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
You know?
And even be like, this is what the person looks like, because you don't know. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 4. Are enemies or rival interfering in this operation? Nope, they're dead. At least the immediate ones that I can think of. There is others, but I don't think they're that quick. Any other elements we take into account is tier. They're 2 higher than you, so we'll lower it by 1. Let's see, maybe a lower tier target will give you +1d, maybe a higher tier will give you -1d. Yeah, so we'll go with 3. Does that sound good? Aaron, do you want to do the honors? It's just a fortune roll with 3d.
Fortune roll with 3D.
And it determines your position. Okay, so you're in a risky position. So we'll cut to you guys in your finery. What does it look like, your nice suits in the future? Or is it like a retro thing where you just look like, you know, Victorian people with the coattails and that shit?
I think Bergen's is digital. It's like a it's like a it's a shirt that's a picture of a tuxedo that if you like flick the switch on, it actually it takes on the shape of an actual tuxedo. But if it like shorts out or whatever, you realize that he's just wearing a faulty tuxedo shirt.
Right. Nice. So you're wearing the equivalent of like the clip-on tie
Correct.
suit. Okay.
I will be easily found out if it rains.
Nice.
What's Vedi what's Vedi dressed like, Lauren?
Good question. I feel like whatever it is, it has to be quite golden sparkling like our product. Nothing subtle in this context. Yeah. Probably something like drapey, something a bit loose and free flowing, like reminiscent of sunlight.
I think silver is in kind of like an old Victorian like dress that's black, but like the if there's I imagine there's some kind of like jewel like encrusted thing on there, but they're like neon glowing jewels that kind of like cycle through different like neon colors, so they're like just very simple Victorian looking dress, except for the fact that like these things are like cycling between like neon blues and greens and yellows and pinks and oranges and everything.
I'm picturing Fleur. She's wearing that like it's that kind of top hat and black suit thing. Like, but I think she's got some sort of like heels like underneath the suit, so she looks heaps like taller and longer, and I think it's the top hat thing as well, so she's looking like super skinny and long. But I think maybe the she's got the little drone thing. I think maybe her top hat's like hovering just up above her head, so she's got her hair done like her side like hair things done all like formally and nicely, but she's also got the top hat just like hovering above her head, just because top hat and hair looks awesome.
Sweet. And so I think we get a shot of you guys exiting the monorail and coming up to this place, which I imagine is like looking quite Roman-ish with like pillars of white and stuff like that, to contrast the first Blade Runner. This is like the 2049 stuff, right? So it's very like power structures and lighting and clean lines, minimalism, stuff like that. And so when you are going in, I think you don't have a problem. They just like, scan your tickets or whatever. But as you're going and into the ballroom, let's see, I want some sort of social thing where you guys wouldn't really know how to behave. Like a specific kind of dance, like a waltz is going on or something like that. And oh yeah, so the guy scans your ticket and then he like ushers you, like he escorts you to the place that you're going, of course, because why wouldn't he do that? And then he says like, you can take your position now, and it's like a intricate waltz of some kind, or a foxtrot, or whatever. And he says the inaugural dance will be happening soon. Take your places now, and then it just like cuts to credits. So let's do experience real quick. We'll go same procedure as before. Aaron, do you want to do experience for Bergen? Let's see. You're the Torque. Did you address the challenge with technical skill or mayhem?
The pirate radio thing, it didn't work out.
Yes, yeah, I think so. Do you think that's 1 or 2?
What's the distinction, or how does one evaluate that?
If you do it like multiple times in the fiction.
Oh, you did it like really, really good once.
Yeah.
Like you did it awesomely.
Yeah, or like the primary like shining moment, that the only thing that you did, or the primary thing that you did that session, then it would be like a 2 thing. I don't know. I think we could even say technical skill is also you getting into the party as well. Like you engineering this is kind of like a skillful thing. I don't know.
A bit of a stretch.
Yeah. So maybe we'll say 2. Express beliefs, drives heritage or background.
Yeah, I think that would be the hitting on the parents part of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But also your beliefs maybe with like your pursuing the stuff that you're the arm juice that also
It's
could
not
count.
orange juice. I'm going.
No, we're gonna be called arm juice. It'll be our crew name, and individual members will be called arm juicers.
Juices, yeah.
Mhm.
But also the juice will come in vices. I mean in trauma, right? Because that's why you were doing it, so you get experience for juice in a little while.
Yeah. So was that a 2 or a 1, you think?
I think that one's a 2.
Okay. And you struggled with issues of vice, your root, or traumas during the session?
At least one. That's the obsession from his from the from that quest.
Right. You used in the sense that you used up your time doing it?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, cool. Silver?
Let's see. Yeah, no desperate rolls. But address a challenge with stealth or evasion. I definitely was stealthy while doing more like recon on Fatma and kind of sneaking into his room while he was high as a kite.
Yep. Yeah,
So,
you orchestrated a little mini op for it.
yeah. So I could see that being 1. I don't know if anybody else. What you guys think? I think 1 makes sense. I don't think it was super stealthy or evasive this episode. So.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then express beliefs, drives, heritage, background. Yeah, I think.
Drive for
Device.
Yeah, I think drives, and then definitely, and then I guess beliefs, maybe with beliefs shifting about what we should do as a crew and trying to help with moving us towards not just like
killing
being
people.
murder hobos.
Yes. Sure. Yeah,
Okay.
so that's 2 probably.
Maybe a couple there. Okay.
And then vice, root, traumas. I'm thinking for a bunch of you, the root struggling with will be the next one in this situation.
Yeah,
we'll
I
see.
don't think I have anything there at the moment though. But.
Yeah. Cool.
Cool.
And VD's first XPs. Let's go to faint. So challenge with calculation and conspiracy. Fuck yeah, right? 7 heat. I think that was the big kind of moment that was like surprising and interesting and cool. So maybe take 2 for that. Beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. I feel like we learned a lot about VD.
Yeah.
What do people think? 2, 1, what? 2? Yeah, Aaron says 2. And you didn't. Did you struggle with your vice, root, or trauma?
I don't think I struggled per se.
Yeah, you brought in your root, the foundation, but did it? I don't think you struggled with it, did you?
Yeah, I don't think so. It was kind of like the catalyst for wanting to reduce the heat so much and stuff because this is like my life. But yeah, I don't think I struggled with it this session per se.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And okay, so that's it. Yeah. And then Fleur's first XP and lens, tracking or violence.
Nope.
Beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. Yeah, we learned a lot about Fleur.
Yeah, I reckon I get a couple there.
Yeah. And issues of vice, root, trauma. I kind of think that root applies because Vidi forced you to come here against your will.
Yeah, I'll take 1 for that.
Even though you're the one that said that happened, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd take that. And your crew, wired. Acquire product, supply, execute a clandestine covert sale, or secure new territory. You're working towards the covert sale already. I don't think it's too bad to take XP for that, both sessions. So let's do 2 with that. Contend with challenges above your station. Yes, twice at least. So 2 for that. Bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one. What is your crew's one? You didn't bolster it; it went down. If anything, right?
Yeah. Daring and hard are our reputations.
Yeah, so I don't think so. Hey?
I guess maybe we're developing a new one if we do a lot of these social
That's
kind
true.
of things. Yeah,
That's possible.
I don't.
Are you wanting to start a new reputation that goes away from those things?
I think
want to
so.
move that direction. Yeah.
It seems like that's the narrative we're going on, with half of the crew falling away and like the reaction to that other.
That's true. I could see that as being XP worthy, changing 2 characters in the crew.
And it seems like BT maybe is like the reason she's become a PC now, is that like that violent, crazy way we were doing things might not be the way to progress.
Yeah. So what reputation is that, do people think? What are you working on becoming for rep in the underworld?
I kind of like the idea of us, but I don't think we got it yet, but the like shadowy or something like that, like where you're doing stuff behind the, like spidery.
Maybe instead of daring, it's cunning.
Yeah, cunning, secretive, something.
I could even see something like ambitious, since we're trying to. I mean, we're like a tier 0 thing, trying to sell drugs. Like really high quality stuff, but selling it to like much, way out of our current tier. I don't know. Any of those would work.
What do people think? Is it ambitious, shadowy?
Let's do
I feel like, yeah, ambitious fits. Because, like, what's shadowy about us? We're just people making tea and shit. Like, we've proven that.
Okay, so you're saying ambitious? Or shadowy?
Sure.
What one?
Unless we're shadowy. We killed everyone and now we're like, nope, we didn't do that.
But I mean, ambitious is always funny, because what Blade's crew isn't gonna be ambitious?
Oh yeah,
it's
that's
what the
true.
whole game's about.
It's true.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of the ones listed in the crew section of the book. Like ambitious is one of the specific reputations that you.
Yeah, I know, but it always seemed funny to me, because if you're playing the game, why aren't you being ambitious?
Sure.
I guess it wouldn't be a very exciting game.
Yeah, I guess by that logic though, there's also daring and savvy and stuff like that I figure probably every crew embodies in some way though too.
It could be clandestine, covert.
Well, I guess it's how other people see you too, right? It's your reputation. So
yeah. So yeah, what is it?
Let's do clandestine. I mean, that's where we're headed here, right? We're trying to create a clandestine drug organization at a tier that is far above our own.
Yeah, without a physical presence, it sounds like, right?
Yeah, or a really strong front, with just the tea shop people.
Yeah. Okay, so
clandestine.
Take clandestine and an XP for that, for starting a new one. And express goals, drive, inner conflict, essential nature, 2 for sure, for new characters, learning about all of them for sure. Yeah.
So is that another 1 then? Or
2.
Is that 2? So, another 2?
Yeah, so 2, 1 challenges is another 1. So that's 4. And 2 is 6.
Wait, so how many did I just add then?
6 total, right?
Whoa, dang. Okay, crazy. All right, so we rolled over, so we'll get a crew advance when we come back.
Yeah, because 2 for the sales, because that's what it was about. Unless you guys think it's 1, then it would take 5 XP.
I think 2 works. I don't know.
Yeah.
I won't turn it down.
So. Yeah. I think it's an interesting plan anyway. We'll see. And everyone's out of their element except maybe Broken. So, yeah.
So with that crew advance, just remember everybody gets a 2 more stash.
Oh, yeah. Right. Yep. And, yeah. Cool. So that's it then. Okay, I'm gonna stop the recording.